excites the crowd with his rendition of our national anthem here at Shreveport. Interestingly tonight, this will be the second year in a row that a coach will be making his debut to start the season for himself. Tonight, Spike Dykes for Texas Tech takes over from David McWilliams. Last year, John Gutekunst took over for Lou Holtz at Minnesota, and he began his career with a victory at the Independence Bowl. Ole Miss, well, they're going to go on probation after this year, so they've got to savor this bowl game. They've had a lot of adversity. They're resilient, and they've come back many, many times. It should be a well-played, even matchup game tonight. We're getting very close to the kickoff, and right now, let's go upstairs to Howard David and Bob Cacciola.
All right, Steve Grant, thank you very much. Kenneth Mack singing the national anthem. The young man from Natchitoches, Louisiana, sang for Pope John Paul II at the Statue of Liberty celebration in July, and also at Game 7 of the World Series. Here's this is not one of the officials. This is the Ole Miss Rebel mascot. Here are your officials, the referee Larry Rice. All of these gentlemen out of the PC2A. Joe Kozak, Bill Athart, Dean Crowley, Craig Battaglia, Bill Jordan, and Bill Levy. A couple of guys, some of those guys that you know, Bob Cacciola, through another man.
That's right. We know them well. They're all from California, and we spent some time with them in the summertime, and they were all here last night and very happy to come this far east to work this game. Very excited about it.
United States Air Force Wings of Blue parachute team will be delivering the game ball over top of Shreveport. They'll be landing momentarily. Some of the assistant coaches for Ole Miss, Bob Cacciola, will be coaching their last games as assistants for Ole Miss. George Smith, the receiver coach, and David Hines, the offensive backfield coach, as well as Mickey Merritt, the defensive end coach, all will be leaving. Carl Torbush, the defensive coordinator and coach of the linebackers, will be taking over as head coach of Louisiana Tech.
Opportunities for him, and these coaches, as assistant coaches, that's what they're looking for, that opportunity to move on, and Torbush has got a big opportunity there, and I know he's very excited about it.
Texas Tech's Red Raiders. You can see very little, if any, wind at all, not at all a factor. And they're looking for, of course, the fans are looking up, waiting for the U.S. Air Force Wings of Blue parachute team flying in the game ball.
Looks like the plane you landed on yesterday, Howard. Here it comes.
That looks a little steadier than the one I came in on. You know what they say, they're ready when you are? Well, really? They weren't. What's interesting about this Independence Ball as we await the game ball coming from the sky, the all-decade selection. This is the 11th year of the Independence Ball. The all-decade team featured some outstanding football players. This is the first time these two teams are meeting, Texas Tech and Ole Miss. Joe Morris, who had a big day today for the Giants in their huge win over the Green Bay Packers, played in this game for Syracuse. Here comes the Air Force Wings of Blue parachute team with the game ball. He was
48-yard line.
With good hang time. I mentioned Joe Morris, who played in this game. Art Monk, who played at Syracuse. Otis Wilson with the Chicago Bears played here. There have been some outstanding talent. They released the all-decade team. Gary Kubiak, who was on the sidelines today for the Denver Broncos as the #2 quarterback behind John Elway. He played here, of course, with Texas A&M. Rusty Hilger played here for Oklahoma State. Reggie Collier, who's with the Dallas Cowboys with Southern Miss. Last year, we saw some outstanding talent. Clemson's Kenny Flowers, who had 143 yards against Minnesota a year ago in the win over Minnesota's win over Clemson. So there have been some outstanding people that have played here in this game.
And we've got some outstanding ones to watch tonight on both sides of the football, offense and defensively, for both Ole Miss and Texas Tech.
You compare these two teams, and you see that neither team is very proficient at throwing the ball. Although Billy Brewer said to us yesterday that Ole Miss would air it out a little bit more than normal.
They come with a wishbone flavor. They like to run the veer offense from the wishbone. Lots of options, but they have the big play player in J.R. Ambrose, the wide receiver, and they are capable of getting the ball and getting it big right away. They like to drive the ball down your throat, but we anticipate tonight, and so does Spike Dykes, that they're going to throw some.
You mentioned J.R. Ambrose. There was questions earlier in the week whether or not J.R. Ambrose and Johnny Boatman, a reserve tailback, would get to play. They were declared ineligible about a week ago by the NCAA, but reinstated earlier this week as the decision came down, much to the delight of Billy Brewer and his Ole Miss Rebels.
Oh, yeah, so Ambrose is just a game breaker, a great athlete, and he's got to have him as part of his offense tonight.
What's unfortunate, and Steve brought it up at the top of the show about the probation that Ole Miss will begin serving following this game for 1 year, which means they cannot play in a bowl game next year. They cannot be on live television. And there you see the game ball being given to Jim Thompson, the president of this year's Independence Bowl. We are about ready to play some football momentarily between Texas Tech and Ole Miss. Started to say about Ole Miss and being put on probation, as Steve brought up at the beginning. They cannot play in a bowl game next year. They cannot be on live television, which is unfortunate for the team in view of how young they are. They're going to be a very, very good football team in '87.
They sure are. They've got sophomores in their starting offensive line, 2 outstanding sophomores. The rest are juniors. Their backfield are underclassmen. Their quarterback's a sophomore. They're very excited about it. And there's Texas Tech here for the first time since 1977 going into a bowl game.
They'll have the coin flip at midfield. The Ole Miss Rebels, rich in tradition. They played here at '83, lost to Air Force 9-3. Texas Tech hasn't been to a bowl game since 1978. It's been a while.
That was the Tangerine Bowl. They played Florida State.
There's Spike Dykes, the new head coach, 48 years old. Told us yesterday that his being named as the head coach at a major university was a victory for all high school coaches in America.
You bet. He spent a lot of time in high school and very successful. He's got a great rapport with many of the Texas high school coaches, and he knows what it's all about. He's worked his way right from ground level to this head coaching job.
Yesterday at the Minuteman Luncheon, which kicks off the celebration, the MC referred to Spike Dykes. It's Spike Dykes. It sounds like somebody out of WrestleMania. All right, Texas Tech. Here's their offense and their starting offensive lineup. Travis Price at the flex end. Aubrey Richburg will be at left tackle. Jeff Keith, the left guard. The co-captain Chris Tanner at center. Mike McBride at right guard. And David Stickles at right tackle. Wayne Walker, the split end, the sophomore at 5'9". Eddie Anderson, the wing back. Sophomore from Dallas. Billy Joe Tolliver, the starting quarterback, also a sophomore. Irvin Ferris gets the start tonight, the sophomore from Fort Worth, the tailback, and Isaac Garnett will be the fullback for Texas Tech. The defense for the Ole Miss Rebels, and they are good. They were #1 in the Southeastern Conference. They go with a 5-man front. Wesley Walls at left end. Mike Fitzsimmons, he's tough from Philly. Jeff Harrod will be one of the linebackers. Darrell Smith, Bubba Dickey, Rodney Lowe at right tackle. Lopez Jones will be the right end. Don Price, the left quarterback. Howard Moss will be at strong safety. Jeff Noblin, not only good on the field, but in the classroom, and Stevan Moore will be at right corner. So there you have it, the starting lineup. Ole Miss and Texas Tech. And Texas Tech will receive the opening kickoff. Wayne Walker and Keith Henderson are the deep people. Walker on the left of your screen, Keith Henderson on the right of your screen. And Ole Miss will kick it off. Kicker is Bill Smith. And he is murder. Might be the best punter in America. He'll also kick it off. Look at the size of this man. 6'3", 230, built like a linebacker, and a great leg to match. And we are underway for the 11th Independence Bowl. It is Henderson at the 5. He fumbles the ball and immediately covers it at the 14-yard line. Pre-game jitters, perhaps. But Keith Henderson did the wise thing. Jump on the ball right away. So Tech starts out in a rather poor field position at their own 14-yard line. Here in the first quarter of play, Ole Miss in their red uniforms. They are the home team for this game. Texas Tech in their road whites with the red numerals. And Billy Joe Tolliver, the sophomore quarterback. Ferris, rather Isaac Garnett, straight ahead for a couple of yards, maybe 3.
We see Texas Tech come out with a single back offense, a slot, 4 wide receivers, no tight end. They'll come with a tight end only in a tight situation, going in the goal line or coming out. But basically, they've got 4 wide receivers, the fullback at home, Billy Joe Tolliver, the quarterback. And there are his stats, and they're mighty impressive.
Tyrone Thurman, 5'3", has just come into the ball game as a wideout. Big hit. Miss. Jeff Herrod, the right side linebacker. Also, Rodney Lowe, the right tackle, in on the play.
Jeff Herrod, that strong linebacker at 6'1", 241, number 66 from Birmingham, Alabama. All SEC. He is a tough one. He leads this team in tackles with 168.
Spike Dykes sending in Eddie Anderson, the wingback, with a play from the coaching sidelines. It's a 3rd and 5 play coming up from the Tech 19. The draw. Irvin Farris dropped by Wesley Walls, close to a first down.
Came up in split backs that time and decided, looking for the passing set. They came with a draw play. Farris, the tailback from the eye, carried it, and Farris got the first down.
First down of the ball game as Tyrone Thurman comes in with a play from the sidelines, the sophomore. Billy Brewer, in his 4th year as head coach at Ole Miss, a record of 22-19-3 since coming to Oxford, Mississippi. Incompletion intended for Wayne Walker, the split end.
That was a split screen, a quick screen to the wide receiver Walker, getting a blocker out in front of him, but he threw it a little bit behind him that time. The timing has to be a little better on that play, giving Walker at 5'9", 160 pounds, 4.28, 40-yard speed, a chance to get the open field. They'll come back to that one.
Reportedly the fastest in the Southwest Conference is Wayne Walker. 2nd down and 10. The Red Raiders of Texas Tech with Anderson wide to the left side. Walker wide to the right. The handoff to Irvin Farris, not much, a couple of yards maybe. Jeff Herrod, again the right side linebacker, in on the play, number 66.
Jeff Herrod will call his name a lot, along with Robert Smith, Mr. Thunder at the other linebacker position for the Ole Miss Rebels. They're tough, those 2 linebackers. They have a 5-man front. They have a nose guard, 2 defensive tackles and ends, and those 2 linebackers patrol behind them.
Darryl Smith comes out the nose guard. Ole Miss showing blitz on 3rd and 6. A little miscommunication on the handoff intended for Isaac Garnett. Billy Joe Tolliver ran into him. Mike Fitzsimmons stuffed it. The left tackle, and Tech is going to have to punt it away. So they'll bring in Chris Burns, Willie Goodlow, and Ricky Myers are the deep people. And here's Chris Burns, averaging a little more than 40 yards per punt. High snap, but he brings it down. Low driving kick. This is Myers. Good return to the 36-yard line, which is where Ole Miss will set it up. 1st and 10. There's no score in the game as the Ole Miss Rebels will bring their offense on the field for the first time at the Independence Bowl.
Long ago on the frontier, homeowners insurance meant knowing the cavalry was close at hand. That kind of protection was hard to beat. It still is. Today, Kemper provides insurance to homeowners, condo owners, and renters with a wide range of money-saving discounts. And you can count on professional service from the independent agents who represent the Kemper Cavalry. To protect your homestead, compare Kemper. You ride with us.
いろいろお世話になりました。お元気でいてください。
Elsie, have you learned your English to live in America?
I will be missing you very much, Grandfather.
Saying goodbye is never easy, but with AT&T International Long Distance, it's easy to say hello. A 10-minute call to Japan can average just 95 cents a minute. Only AT&T keeps you this close anywhere in the world.
Ole Miss comes to offense. Ricky Myers, top of your screen, number 25. Ole Miss operating from the left hash marks with the wide side of the field to the right. And J.R. Ambrose in motion, a game breaker. Throwing it on 1st down. They look for J.R. Ambrose as the pass is incomplete. Let's run down the offense. Here's Ricky Myers, the split end. Jay Schimmel at left tackle. Todd Irvin at right tackle. Rob Goff, the center. Rich Adamsick, the right guard. Mario Perry, the tight end. Mark Young, the starting quarterback, the sophomore. Joe Mickles, a junior, at fullback. Willie Goodlow, the tailback. And J.R. Ambrose, the flanker. 2nd and 10 for Ole Miss. Their own 36. Perry in motion. Gang tackle on Sean Sykes. Ricky Boysaw, the left defensive end. Artis Jackson, the left tackle. Desmond Royal at right tackle. And the tough Calvin Riggs at right end. James Johnson, the strong side linebacker. Brad Hastings, the middle linebacker. And Michael Johnson, the weak side linebacker. We'll go through the rest of the defense for Texas Tech. 3rd and 11 coming up for Ole Miss from their own 36 with Ambrose in motion. Almost intercepted by Eric Everett, the halfback. Roland Mitchell for Texas Tech, as we run down the rest of the defense, is the quarterback. Eric Everett, who just broke it up at halfback. Leonard Jones, the rover, and Boyd Cowan getting the start tonight at strong safety. And All-America Bill Smith to come in to punt it away on 4th down with the line of scrimmage the 36-yard line. And he sails a beauty. Tyrone Thurman, the Smurf at 5'3", across the 25-yard line, and Texas Tech will set it up 1st and 10. So the Red Raiders go back on offense for the 2nd time tonight. There's no score at the Independence Bowl.
To know no boundaries, to let yourself run free. To know no boundaries is what the world should be.
Wherever there are investment opportunities, Merrill Lynch is there with the help you need to make the most of them. Because at Merrill Lynch, we believe your world should know no boundaries.
To know no boundaries. Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby.
This holiday season, serve the very best at any gathering. Serve delicious chicken tenders from Burger King.
Ain't nothing like the real thing.
Chicken tenders are all white meat breast fillets, not formed bits and pieces of chicken like McNuggets. Plus, they're cooked in 100% vegetable oil. So pick up chicken tenders from Burger King. This holiday, how could you serve anything less than the best?
Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby.
Back at the Independence Bowl in Shreveport, you get a look at the offense of the Texas Tech Red Raiders. There's no score in the game. 11:19 remaining first quarter. Howard David, Bob Cassiola, and Steve Grad. Billy Joe Tolliver, the quarterback for the Red Raiders. Second time they tried that exact same play, the split end screen to Wayne Walker, and for the second time it didn't work.
Very nervous. They're trying to hit Walker that time, number 80. He's the leading receiver on this ball club with 38 receptions. He was a little bit behind him again. They want to get the ball outside to the big play wide receivers who can get them upfield. They want to do it just getting up into the seams and then once in a while throwing that quick screen out to the sideline.
Sophomore Billy Joe Tolliver, 4 touchdown passes this year, but 13 interceptions. Penalty markers fly as Irvin Farris is wrapped up by Lopez Jones for Ole Miss. And we'll see what the marker is. And Ole Miss defense is fired up. Illegal motion.
And it's got to be the fullback, Garnett, that time, who moved forward before the snap. The quarterback, Tolliver's got to settle him down now.
Illegal motion is the call. It has been refused, so it'll bring up 3rd and 7.
We'll just look on the left side as we see the fullback, 43, move forward before the snap, and that's what they got him for. Refused the penalty, 3rd down.
Officials right on top of the penalty. It's been refused by Ole Miss, so it's 3rd and 7 for Texas Tech from their own 29. Tolliver deflected at the line of scrimmage. Pass intended for Travis Price, the flex end. And look at Mike Fitzsimmons. Is this man ready to play some football tonight?
Fitzsimmons, number 71, 6'2", 270. He's the import from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He's the blood and guts of this defense. Mike Fitzsimmons.
So for the second time in the ball game, Chris Burns, whose last punt traveled 42 yards, will kick it away to either Willie Goodlow or Ricky Myers. High snap again. Again, the driving kick fielded at the 33-yard line by Goodlow. To about the 38, a 4-yard return by Willie Goodlow, and Ole Miss will have the ball for the second time offensively. Neither team has been able to move it effectively, but it's, we expected that. Let's face it, Bob, these teams haven't played in almost a month. They've had poor weather conditions for practicing. They've had some exams recently, and Billy Brewer told us yesterday, as you look at him, that this game he expected to start off very slow. So Ole Miss offensively with Mark Young, the starting quarterback. They come out of a pro set with Mario Perry in motion. Pass incomplete, intended for Mario Perry over the middle. Brad Hastings, the middle linebacker, with the drop.
All season they've featured the veer offense off of the wishbone flavor. That time they came out with the split backs. 1st and 10, they decided to go with a little drop back action looking for Mario Perry. Number 81, the tight end, coming across the middle, a little bit overthrown. Mark Young, however, this year has had a great year. He finished 11th in total offense in the SEC. Got 87 completions for well over 1,100 yards and 8 TD passes.
Second down, Ole Miss. Complete to Ricky Myers on the slant in at the 45-yard line in front of Leonard Jones, the roverback. Picked up about 7 on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd down.
Myers got single coverage on the left side from the split end position, and with the single coverage he comes and breaks inside, takes a little outside release, breaks underneath the coverage here, and there's the ball right on the money. Good catch, good control. 3rd and short.
3rd down on about 3 from Ole Miss's 45-yard line. Mario Perry in motion. The quick dump and the completion at the 50-yard line to Sean Sykes. He goes out of bounds in Tech territory at the 44-yard line. At a 1st down, brought down by Brad Hastings, the middle linebacker.
Good play action passes. We look at coming right at us here. Little play fake to the fullback, slipping 46 into the flat, wide open. He's got to be covered by the linebacker. Catches the football. Number 7 comes over to make the play. Boyd Cowan, the safety, not before he makes a 1st down.
Boyd Cowan getting a start tonight in place of Merv Skurlock, who had the flu yesterday. We might see him tonight, but he did not start the game. Sykes almost busted it. Got caught up inside by Hastings and Cowan.
Come out those split backs. They can run the dive, the veer. That time they elected to try and run a sweep action and get Sykes on the corner, but not before number 44. He patrols the whole middle. There he is, Brad Hastings, Arlington, Texas. Just short of 500 career tackles. Came into the season with more tackles individually than anybody in this country.
Gain of only a yard on the play. 2nd down and 9. 9:25 remaining 1st quarter. There's no score. He wants it all. He's got Ricky Myers out there and is off his fingertips. Ricky Myers, the intended receiver. Defending on the play was Leonard Jones, the roverback.
Leonard Jones covering one-on-one deep, and Myers had him beat to the outside. That time Young just laid it out there a little bit too far, but they're putting pressure deep. They want to keep that secondary off the running game. The Texas Tech secondary really supports the run well, trying to keep them off the ball a little bit. Maybe be able to run that football a little bit later, but that time they weren't deep. We'll see them come back to that.
Tech with excellent defense. Mississippi with excellent defense. Bobby Martin's into the split end for Ole Miss on the right side. Double stack to the near side as Ambrose comes in motion. Ambrose on the reception. Ambrose, 1st down, Ole Miss.
Very tough to cover J.R. Ambrose in any situation, but when you put him in the slot, he's pretty assured of one-on-one coverage. That time he came inside, as we see 14 Young drop here. As he drops back, Ambrose breaks from the slot position to the sideline, away from the linebacker who's got to cover him. Big yardage, big play for Ole Miss.
Bart Rieger on the tail end of that tackle for Texas Tech for the 1st down for the Rebels on the Tech 24-yard line. What balance by Joe Nichols, the fullback. Brought down by Hastings from the backside.
Quick little screen here to number 41, Mickles, the fullback, the junior from Birmingham, Alabama. And watch the balance here as he cuts back, puts that right hand down to keep his balance, spins out, gets some extra yards. This is a fired-up football team right now. Ole Miss on offense.
Joe Mickles from Birmingham, Alabama. And Ole Miss has it first and goal at the Tech 5. Young looking for the corner, shy of the end zone. Leonard Jones, the rover back, chased him out of bounds at about the 1-yard line.
They line up in a wishbone down here, which presents a lot of problems for the defense. You got to adjust. He comes down, he decides to keep the ball. He's in close. He makes some yardage here, and he just falls short. The ball is sitting right on the 1-yard line. There he is, Mark Young, the sophomore quarterback, 6'3", 170 pounds, from Jacksonville, Florida.
Gain of 4 on the play, second and goal from the 1-yard line. They go out of the wishbone. Touchdown, Ole Miss. Willie Goodlow scores a touchdown. Check this celebration out.
Little counter play from the wishbone with Willie Goodlow, the junior from Lighton, Alabama. Here it is. There's the counter play. Goodlow follows the fullback in. Plenty of room. Great job on the left side by Jay Schimmel, the left tackle, and Derek King, the left guard. Touchdown.
Goodlow scored 3 touchdowns this year rushing the football. He's also scored other ways. Punt returns, tough man, extra point try. And it's good. Ryan Owen with the extra point, and Mississippi strikes first. First quarter of the Independence Bowl with 8:21 remaining in the first period. The Rebels of Ole Miss lead the Red Raiders of Texas Tech by a touchdown.
Before you buy insurance, examine the evidence. A one-company agent can only offer you the policies his company sells. But independent agents represent several companies. They can offer you the right policy at the right price because they have more policies to choose from. A one-company agent or an independent agent. The evidence is clear. Look for the symbol of your independent agent in the yellow pages. You're more than one company agent.
If you own one of these, or one of these, you should really buy one of these, the Oster Food Processor Accessory, because it can turn each of these into all of these, as quick as you please.
They live for danger.
All right, freeze, turkeys!
They're the guys from Riptide, Private Eyes with a Punch.
Just like a spy movie, isn't it?
Terry King, Joe Penny, and Tom Bray. Riptide. Monday through Saturday on USA.
This is Joe Mickles, who made a great catch, but an even better run. How'd you avoid all those defenders?
Well, we was the screen left, and I had a good job of blocking out front. I just went for the goal line.
You're the one who busted it open on the first bowl game of the season. Nice guard.
Oh, thank you.
Howard?
62-yard drive in 9 plays. Time of possession, 2:21 for Ole Miss as you look at Bill Smith, who'll kick it off for Billy Brewer's Ole Miss Rebels. The end over end is taken by Walker. Wayne Walker straight ahead. Fumble, loose ball. It is Garnett that saves the ball for Texas Tech.
Here it is as we see the ball gets hit right here. It pops up in the air, and 43 Garnett, without breaking stride, the fullback just picks it up and runs it forward, gets the ball up over the 30-yard line. Big break for Texas Tech. They're 1st and 10 with the ball sitting on the 32.
That was Tony Bennett, not the singer, but the reserve defensive end that jarred the ball loose. Almost came up with a big turnover. A lot of stunning, a lot of movement by the Ole Miss Rebels on defense. They lead it 7-0. Irvin Farris, who got the start tonight at tailback in place of James Gray, who might play tonight. Gray has the flu. Jeff Bacon made the stop for Ole Miss. A gain of 6 on the play. 2nd down and 4.
Interesting. They come out in the I formation on occasion, like to run the tailback, sweep him, or just run them and on the ISO plays up inside. That time they tried to break Farris outside. They did for good yardage.
Tyrone Thurman out wide to the left side. Travis Price inside of Thurman. Tolliver with the connection. And a first down at the midfield. Price, the receiver, Travis Price, the next quarterback, makes the reception. Darrell Smith, the nose guard, came from the backside to make the stop on a first down for the Red Raiders.
Just a time pattern where Travis Price comes from the slot, goes down about 6 yards. The ball is right there on a stop. Hit him for the first down. Controlled, safe pattern, safe pass, first down.
Wayne Walker to the near side. Anderson to the wide side, to the left side. Almost busting it was Irvin Farris. Got tripped up after a gain of maybe 3 or 4.
They come in the split backs now, and then split backfield. They can drop back pass. They can run the draw. They run just a little draw play here as he steps back and he hands it back to him, and he follows his fullback. As he cuts back here, there's big yardage. The Ole Miss defenders have overflowed, but he comes back and trips up and falls forward for a short gain.
Actually, he wasn't even touched. He just stumbled on the turf. He'll be back. Second down and 7. Tolliver. Difficult connection. John Price defending on the play. Pass was intended for Tyrone Thurman, and what a story. 5'3", 130 pounds. Mike Dykes told us yesterday, when I said, is he really 5'3", he said, not that big.
He's not that big, and he knows because he recruited him, and he's referred to by many as the Spud Webb of college football.
Smallest in college football is Tyrone Thurman. Eddie Anderson and now at wingback out wide to the right side. Trip receivers to the right side for the Red Raiders. The inside handoff to Isaac Garnett as he goes inside the 45-yard line. Tony Bennett and Robert Smith combining for the stop, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
Came up with, again, 3 receivers to one side, obvious passing down, but they elected to run the fullback, and they didn't make the yardage necessary. They have to punt again.
Willie Goodlow and Ricky Myers back deep. Chris Burns, 3rd time tonight, he'll punt it away. And he hangs up a beauty. He's going to hit inside the 5 and just goes into the end zone. Tech with good downfield coverage could not stop it from going into the end zone. So with 5:53 remaining first quarter. The Ole Miss Rebels, Billy Brewer said they were going to air it out. Thus far, he's kept his word. We'll be right back.
It's a jungle. That's how it feels when you're searching for life insurance. The natives don't speak your language. You feel lost, in the dark, scared. Is a sign of civilization. With Prudential, your agent will explain things clearly and work with you until you have a piece of the rock you feel comfortable with. No wonder more people choose Prudential for life insurance than any other company. You'll feel right by the rock. Prudential Life Insurance.
Smile. The easy goes to 35 for pictures to come alive. 35 millimeter. It's easy. Kodak VR 35. Ta-da!
You just drop the film in. It almost loads itself. Then aim and shoot.
Have you ever seen a sharper baby picture? I have.
Whichever one you want to choose, we've got the 35 for you. Kodak VR 35.
It's a great shot.
Nothing to it.
Ole Miss leading 7-0 with 5:53 remaining first quarter at the 11th Independence Ball. Howard David and Bob Casciola along with Steve Grad. Ambrose is in motion. And a tremendous hit at the line of scrimmage by Leonard Jones, the roverback, who made Sean Sykes pay for it.
Leonard Jones, number 28, the senior from Fort Worth, 6'2", 190-pound roverback, as they run a little counter play here, handing the ball back to Sykes, and there comes Jones up on the corner with the hit. That ball stopped dead right on the line of scrimmage.
Sean Sykes, referred to as Lightning, injured for about 3 games during the course of the season, and after taking that hit from Leonard Jones, maybe he wishes he was still on the bench. Second down and 10 for Ole Miss. Loose ball, I believe Ambrose fell on it right away. Across the 30 and a first down. They have rolled it a completion. Brad Hastings Hastings got to him.
And you got to be impressed by the time that the quarterback, Mark Young, is getting from his offensive line, giving Ambrose a chance to come across from the left side of the screen as he gets plenty of time to protect up front from his offensive line. And here comes Ambrose across, gives him a chance to wait on him, get him the football. And that big athlete, he's 6'1", 189 pounds, from Monroe, Louisiana.
Ambrose did fumble the ball at the end of that reception, but fell on it right away. Ambrose again in motion. The draw inside. Nichols across the 45-yard line and another first down. Brad Hastings, the middle linebacker, we're calling his number a lot, makes the stop on Nichols again, who comes up with a big play.
And they term Nichols as an excellent blocker with quickness and great balance. You see it here. Look at this balance as he makes the cut, slips the ball to the outside, so he's got his right hand to use there, and he gets that extra yardage. 5'10", 210 from Birmingham, Alabama.
First and 10, Ole Miss, their own 46-yard line. They lead at 7-0. Ambrose inside the 45-yard line. Took a hard hit from Leonard Jones on the backside, close to another first down for the Rebels of Ole Miss with 4:05 remaining first quarter.
And Young again had plenty of time for Ambrose to come underneath with the curl as the area was cleared out by the tailback that time. Goodlow cleared the area out. Ambrose curled behind him, made the catch, but the quarterback has been given a lot of time by that offensive line. And you got to talk about that offensive line, led by Rob Goff, their offensive center, a junior college transfer. He's come in, he's solidified it. Adam Seck, the right guard, Derek King, the left guard, Schimmel, the left tackle, and Irvin. Now they have been a real big addition to this ball club, giving it a lot of consistency.
As you can see by the measurement, it was a first down for the Rebels. They lead at 7-0. 1-yard run by Willie Goodlow. As Willie Green comes into the game at split end for Ole Miss. Ricky Myers lined up on the right side. Ambrose in the slot right. And Willie Green out wide to the left. Ambrose in motion, top of your screen. They want it all for Ambrose. Just a little bit overthrown. Air it out once in a while just to keep the secondary honest. Leonard Jones covered on the rover.
The ability to have Ambrose run deep, the ability to have him come short underneath. What an athlete, and that's the kind of guy they needed for this ball game. Ambrose adds so much. He adds that deep threat, and there is Billy Brewer, an Ole Miss grad, quarterback and a defensive back in his playing days under the great Johnny Vaught.
Second Independence Bowl trip. The last one was in 1983. They lost to Air Force that night in a torrential rainstorm, 9-3, 4 field goals in that game. Mario Perry comes in motion as Young goes back to throw. The connection to Willie Goodlow out of the backfield, close to another Ole Miss first down at about the 35. Keith Henderson in on the play in the secondary, along with Bart Rieger and Boyd Cowan.
Coming into this ball game, Spike Dykes says that Ole Miss likes to run that ball down your throat, but Billy Brewer told us he was going to throw the football, and they've opened it up, and I think the fact that they have has really kept this Texas Tech defense a little bit inconsistent and unsure of themselves, and now they're running the football with Goodlow.
They sold just about 50,000 tickets, almost a sold-out Independence Bowl. Third down on a yard. Again, they go out of the wishbone. The option, and what a hit. What a hit by Merv Skurlock.
Skurlock, the free safety, coming from the free safety position, third in the team in tackles with 100 this year. There he is, number 5, trailing the play as the quarterback pitches it outside to the trailback 46, Sykes. There he is. Can't do it any better than that.
Billy Brewer said of Merv Skurlock, he said if he gets you, he's going to undress you, and then he's going to kill you. To quote Billy Brewer, it's going to bring up a fourth down and a yard. Mark Young confused over what play was to be called, and he's called for a timeout with 2:52 remaining in the first quarter, and Ole Miss on top, 7-0. Mark Young came off the bench in the Tulane game. He's sophomore. Amazing to me as you look at Spike Dykes. People are saying, no, that can't be his real name. Actually, his name is William Taylor Dykes. getting his first head coaching job at the collegiate level, but he's been very successful at the high school level. Coached under Darrell Royal, coached under Emily Ballard at Mississippi State. He's quite a guy. Interesting story.
Very natural person.
You know what I was amused with yesterday? We were talking to Spike and his wife Sharon. Sharon has sold all of their houses, every place they've gone.
And he's moved a lot. Yeah, she's an expert at it.
He told us one night he walked into the house and he didn't know his wife had sold the house. He walked in and started to put his pants down on the chair, and there was no chair there. His wife sold the house, didn't tell him about it. I told her she ought to get a real estate license. More money in it than coaching.
You bet. That was a shot of the really great crowd we have here tonight.
Willie Green out wide to the right. They're going out of the wishbone and going for it on 4th for the yard from the 35-yard line. The inside handoff to Tony Dentley. When you want to get something moved, you use the earth mover. And Dentley, 6'1½", 262 pounds. And that is real body by Fisher.
And he runs at 40 and 4.8, and there he is, number 40, Tony Dentley from Memphis, Tennessee. He's the big man in the backfield, and they use him primarily on the short yardage situations.
Everybody's taking a page out of the refrigerator's book, right?
That's right, but he's always been in that position. He doesn't have to switch.
Twin receivers to the right, one setback as Perry comes in motion towards the formation and Young back to throw. With the blitz on, he dumps it off on the screen, and the screen closed very quickly. Boyd Cowan makes the stop on Joe Mickles. Mickles broke one similar to that play early on in the quarter. That time he only gets about a yard.
That time they ran the screen. Texas Tech was in man coverage. The free safety, Cowan, came from his middle position in the defensive backfield to get right up on the screen man, keep it to a short gain.
Going to bring up 2nd down and 8 for Ole Miss, just inside the 30 of Texas Tech. Ole Miss leading it by the score of 7-0. Less than 2 minutes to play in the first. Willie Green goes out wide to the right side, and Ambrose in motion. The keeper by Young, and the Tech smell it out. Hastings right on top of the play with Boyd Cowan.
That was not going to be a keeper. He wanted to reverse pitch that ball to Myers, the split end coming back, but he never had a chance to do it, so he had to keep the ball and take the loss.
So it'll bring up 3rd down and 11 for Ole Miss from the Texas Tech 33-yard line with less than a minute and a half to play in the first quarter.
And there is Brad Hastings, number 44, the leader of this defense. All-America, All-Southwest Conference. Great football player.
Ambrose again in motion as Young goes back to throw. Ambrose, the man he goes to in the clutch, close to a first down at the 22-yard line. Boyd Cowan made the tackle on J.R. Ambrose, and they're going to bring the chains across the way for a measurement.
And now, again, Ambrose in the slot, gets single coverage. The free safety, Cowan's got to stay with him. With his speed, he's got to protect it deep. That time he comes back over the middle, catches the ball in front, very close to a first down. Most interesting part of this ball game is the fact that Ole Miss is throwing the football and throwing it a lot.
So they bring the chains out, and it looks to be enough by almost a yard for first down. So with 1:05 to play in the first quarter, Ole Miss keeps the drive alive at the 21-yard line of Texas Tech. Spike Dykes making his first appearance as a head coach for the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. Replaced David McWilliams, who replaced Fred Akers of Texas. Twin receivers to the right, and Ambrose again in motion. Wide open was Ambrose, and he overthrew him. James Johnson, the strong side linebacker, was covering on the play, but Ambrose was wide open. Ball was just overthrown.
They're putting him in motion that time. They brought him back into the formation in motion and worked him to the outside, which forced the linebacker that time, Johnson, to try and cover him. He was open. I'm sure we'll see him come back to that play again. Ole Miss is putting the ball in the air.
Ole Miss won 5 of their last 6. The only one they lost to was Tennessee on November the 15th. Surrounding that, they had won 4 in a row over Southwest Louisiana, Vanderbilt, and LSU, and then closing it out with a win over arch rival Mississippi State, 24-3. Draw inside to Joe Mickles, the fullback. I don't know, I didn't expect him to see him carry the ball that much. Johnson makes the tackle. That is James Johnson. Actually, Michael Johnson, the weak side linebacker. And it's going to bring up 3rd down and 4 at the 16 of Texas Tech.
They like to use Mickles in all kinds of situations. That was a little draw play. He's awfully quick. He finds the hole. With the way they're throwing the football tonight, it's perfect to come to him in obvious passing situations.
Twin receivers to the right. Mario Perry, the tight end, in motion, and Young back to throw. Pass is caught at the 10-yard line, and a 1st down. Willie Goodlow out of the backfield. And the drive just keeps on moving.
A great balance in their passing game. They look to the wide receiver. They look occasionally for the tight end. That time, Willie Goodlow came out of the backfield. The wide receivers took the secondary and the linebackers deep. He was wide open on the sideline for a good gain and another 1st down.
Well, Billy Brewer will have Willie Goodlow back next year, the junior from Layton, Alabama. Well, that's the end of the 1st quarter. Ole Miss on top and knocking on the door again. They lead it 7-0 at the end of the 1st quarter.
It's party time! 24C, Ricky. Hey, no Season's golden wine. Come on. You guys want to put me out of a job? Oh, we're bound. So, you know I was coming? No. I knew they were coming. You must be doing something right. You did one thing right.
You came home for the holidays.
Every day, 350 tons of paper leaves this mill and heads straight for your desk as memos, reports, newspapers, magazines, all the byproducts of the information explosion. Fortunately, some of this paper is also used to print the Wall Street Journal. At the Journal, more than 400 reporters and editors sift through all the information that could be useful to you and your career. And then they present it to you, each business day, in the Journal's mercifully concise format. There's an important lesson to be learned from all this. Information isn't power. Knowing where to find it is.
Call 800-527-9800 for this special introductory offer. 13 weeks for just $29.50 with a money-back guarantee. 13 weeks, $29.50. Phone 800-527-9800 now for the Wall Street Journal.
So we begin the 2nd quarter. Ole Miss now with a 14th play in this drive. They have it 1st and goal at the 10-yard line with Perry in motion. The draw to Mickles, touchdown. Joe Mickles, the junior from Birmingham, Alabama, gives Ole Miss a 13-0 lead.
What a great job on the left side by the left tackle, Schimmel, King, the left guard, and the center. Great blocking, little draw play out of the split backfield, and Mickles, the fullback, goes in for the score.
He averaged about 4 yards a carry this year in regular season. That drive, 14 plays, 80 yards. It consumed almost 6 minutes of the drive, Bob. And Ole Miss, Billy Brewer said they were going to open it up, and that's what they've done tonight. The extra point try is perfect. And so 3 seconds into the 2nd quarter, Ole Miss strikes again. The Rebels, winners of 7, loser of 3, and 1 tie this year, up by 2 touchdowns.
The Independence Bowl is sponsored in part by the Prudential, offering a full range of insurance and other financial services. The Prudential, the Rock. It's strong, it's on the move, it's bigger than life.
Muggsy, stay. Make sure your auto insurance is under control when your car's not. Have your Prudential representative give you a fast, free pro review of your coverage.
Are you covered? I don't know.
You'd know with a Prudential Pro Review. The right coverage is no accident.
Oh, Muggsy.
Get a Pro Review from the Prudential and get a piece of the rock.
Nice boat.
Ladies and gentlemen, Barbara Mandrell.
Someday my dreams will be coming true.
Direct from Nashville, this lady brings you an unforgettable evening of classic country.
It won't be classical music, okay?
She sings and soars, dances and dazzles. And that's why the lady is a champ. A USA special, Monday at 8.
Drives. How was it that easy as it looked up here?
It's not that easy. You know, you have to have 11 people working out there, and we've got all 11 of us working, and we're clicking at the same time. And, you know, everything's just executing just like we planned on the, you know, in the game plan.
Do they look a little disorganized or rusty?
No, I think we're just playing good ball right now. We're moving the ball, and our coaches did a lot of work on them and studied a lot of film, and got some good plays for us to go against.
Thank you, Mark.
All right.
Keith Henderson at the goal line. Shy of the 20, and there's a penalty marker on the play. Tony Bennett, a reserve defensive end, stopped him short of the 20, but there is a marker on the play.
Getting back, when you think about the balance of this offense, and there it is, a face mask going against Ole Miss. But when you think about that last score in this entire drive, here they run a little draw play to the fullback Mickles. That's the 8th run. They threw the ball 6 times in 14 plays for that score as Mickles, it's into the end zone. 14 plays, 6 passes, 8 runs, great balance. That's the difference in the ball game.
Joe Mickles had not scored a touchdown all this season in regular season play. Gets his first of the year, and this is a nice time to do it in a bowl game. Face masking call on Ole Miss on the return. They bring it out to the 24-yard line. An inadvertent face mask with only 5 yards. After the 19-yard return, and Billy Joe Tolliver and Texas Tech, they'll work cut out for him. Ball thrown behind the intended receiver, Wayne Walker.
That time they had Walker upfield in the seam coming from the slot. He threw the ball a little bit off. And if you have to say anything about this offense so far of Texas Tech, Billy Joe Oliver's a little bit off the kilter here. And he throws that ball behind Wade Walker. Tolliver's pass has to be a lot more accurate than that for them to get back in this ball game. He was open. Right now, Tolliver is 1 for 5 passing for 11 yards.
It's been Ole Miss thus far in the Independence ball as we're in early stages, second quarter. The reverse to Tyrone Thurman, and not much there. Robert Smith, the linebacker, was the first man to get to him. Number 34 in the middle of your screen.
Smith, the linebacker, wasn't fooled by that play. A little counter play, bringing him the receiver back from the slot formation, trying to get him upfield. Robert Smith, 34, the junior, at 6'1", 233, made the tackle.
Smith was switched from fullback to linebacker. Third down and about 10 yards for first down. Twin receivers to the left. Tolliver, complete, close to a first down. Where they mark it, it looks to be enough for a first down. Stevan Moore made a hit, and a tough one on that man, Tyrone Thurman. 5'3", 130 pounds, if you can believe the man plays football, but he can hold on to it, taking a punishing shot from this Stevan Moore.
And we see, as Tolliver drops back here, they put both linebackers in the line to try and hide him as if they were going to blitz him, which brought single coverage back in here, which meant he was going 1 for 1 on the cornerback, and that time he came up with the tackle.
11 yards on the pickup and a first down as Tolliver. Incomplete. Actually, it was very close to a completion. Eddie Anderson had the ball, I thought, almost enough to be called a completion, and I thought maybe they would call it a fumble out of bounds, but not so. It's ruled incomplete. Don Price on the coverage. So it will bring up second down and 10 for the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. Most people in the beginning of the season picked the Raiders for 8th or 9th in the Southwest Conference, and they surprised a few. Second down play. They run the draw up inside, and it is stuffed. Number 66, Jeff Herod. And he is there as soon as the ball carrier, Arthur Scott, also in on the play.
Well, he had 168 tackles coming into this bowl game. That's 15 plus per game. He had 24 alone against Arkansas, and he's second-team All-American in the Sporting News. He's a very active football player, as we mentioned, at 241 pounds, and he can move.
James Gray is in the game at tailback, suffering from the flu. He now goes in motion. Third down play, and the connection. Just enough for a first down to Travis Price. Robert Smith, the linebacker, made the stop on the play, but Price, the ex-quarterback turned receiver, gets it up for a first down.
And they're moving the linebackers around, and that time they moved Herod into the line as if to blitz him. He held up that permitted Price from the slot to get into the flat with no linebacker covering underneath. He was open for a possession-type pass, and that's what Texas Tech has to do. They got to get first downs. They've got to control the ball a little bit with their passing game.
Wayne Walker out wide to the left side. First and 10 play at the 46 of Tech. Inside Arkansas territory, Ole Miss territory, for a little Freudian slip. Travis Price, the receiver, and Jeff Herod covering up the play.
And here's Herod as we watch him, 66, as he drops off to the flat here, and we see him square up and come right to the sideline to get Price, the receiver, for a short gain.
After watching Texas Tech in their win over Arkansas, you get Arkansas in your brain if you watch so much tape. But Tech would like to see that repeated. The tough go right now. Ole Miss on top, 14-0. Inside handoff, Garnett. Arthur Scott, sophomore, in at defensive end now from Greenwood, Mississippi, made the tackle on the play on Garnett Scott, or Isaac Garnett rather. Garnett, you think he had a tough road getting his share at the dinner table? He's one of 15 kids. And Mike Fitzsimmons, I got to tell you an interesting story about this guy. He is a full load and then some at 6'2", 270 pounds from Philadelphia. They say he comes out of the Rocky mold, and I'll tell you a little bit why. Third down on the yard and too much time, or now a timeout is called for by Texas Tech before the 25-second clock ran out. 11:55 remaining, second quarter, and Ole Miss leading Texas Tech by 14-0.
Smile.
The easy does the 35 for pictures that come alive.
35 millimeter. It's easy.
Kodak Beyond 35.
Ta-da!
You just drop the film in. It almost loads itself. Then aim and shoot.
Have you ever seen a sharper baby picture?
I have.
Whichever one you want to choose, we've got the 35 for you. Kodak Beyond 35.
It's a great shot.
Nothing to it.
It's over. What's over? Life, my friend.
They killed his partner. His response,
With or without your help,
was simple.
I'm gonna get him.
No mercy.
You don't know New Orleans. They don't even talk like us.
He'll come from me. That's what you want, isn't it?
Get out of the car!
Richard Gere, Kim Basinger. No Mercy. Rated R. Now playing at a theater near you.
Ole Miss has put 2 touchdowns on the board with 11:55 remaining, second quarter. Howard David, Bob Casciola, and Steve Grad at Independence Stadium in Shreveport, Louisiana. Independence ball, third down on the yard. First down, Irvin Farris.
They had to get it that time. They came out in the power eye set with Irvin Farris sitting in the deep back position. They ran the pitch, just ran him off tackle, up behind their left tackle, Aubrey Richburg, and their left guard, Jeff Keith. And he just runs up behind the left side of his line, and his fullback leading the way, Isaac Garnett. Enough for a first down, keeps this drive alive. Very important for Tech to get some points now. They've got to stay in this ball game.
Howard Moss making the stop on the play for the Rebels. Quick drop, Tolliver. Connection to Price inside the 35-yard line, and another first down.
That time he took a short drop, a 3-step drop by Billy Joe Tolliver. That makes it very difficult to put pressure on him with any kind of a rush, and it times up perfectly with his receiver to run about a 6-yard pattern and then move with the football from there. That time he got enough for another first down.
Billy Brewer making a return trip to the Independence Bowl. 1983 was here last. I like them. I like both of these guys. They're very, very good football coaches and nice people to begin, and more importantly, nice people. Isaac Garnett, the ball carrier, maybe a yard or so, perhaps 2. You know, you get the opportunity as you prepare for the telecast to speak with these gentlemen and their staff and their people. And speaking for Bob, I think I'd be correct. Talking to both Billy Brewer and Spike Dykes, just two fine gentlemen. Second down and 8. For Texas Tech, they trail at 14-0. Again, the quick drop and the connection. And Thurman was really roped by Wesley Walls.
Again, they're trying to do that quick screen on the flat to Thurman to try and take advantage of his speed. And here it is, 1, 2, 3 step, turns back to Thurman, clears the area out with the slot back, but Wesley Walls, the sophomore, 6'5", 243, from Pontotoc, Mississippi, makes the hit. There he is.
You realize he's almost twice the weight of Tyrone Thurman? I mean, who chose up those sides?
Walls is also an academic All-SEC candidate.
Third down and 8 for Texas Tech. Tolliver again, the quick drop with time. Travis Price, first down inside the 20-yard line, and the Red Raiders keep the drive alive.
That quick set, 1, 2, 3, hit that back coming out of the backfield. That time he came out of the slot, and he forced the linebacker to try and cover him. Excellent pass by Tolliver, and Spike Dykes likes that. He sees the kind of offense they've been running all year, living off of. There it is, right into the slot. There's number 10, Price. Forced the linebacker to come out and make the play on him.
This drive started at the 24-yard line of Texas Tech. This is the 13th play in the drive. First and 10, Tech at the 18 of Ole Miss. They run the draw up inside the 5-yard line. James Gray. He was sick before the ball game. Actually, yesterday he got a touch of the flu, but he didn't look sick on that run.
James Gray is a freshman, number 31 out of Fort Worth. He's been a real star for him this year, coming along big and has done a super job running the ball inside and outside. As you mentioned, he's been sick, but he came in the first time he's carried the ball tonight. Big play, big first down inside the 5-yard line.
Joe Nathan Shelley making the tackle on the play for Ole Miss. Going to be first and goal at the 4-yard line for Texas Tech. Straight ahead and getting pounded was Irvin Ferris. Maybe he got a yard.
Irvin Ferris running in from the I formation, trying to run an isolation off the right side that time, but always there is the ever-present Jeff Herrod at linebacker, and the down lineman Rodney Lowe, and Darrell Smith, the nose guard, made a big play for Ole Miss.
Ferris and Garnett, the setbacks. Now they go out of the power I set with two tight ends, Ryden and Sprinkle. Looking to go underneath was Irvin Ferris, and Lopez Jones got to him first. Also help from Lance Halfcock.
Very important now for Tech to get into this score. Mississippi very tough in these goal line situations. One of the few times that Tech comes with two tight ends. They bring into the ball game Phil Young and Todd Ryden, the tight end, go with two tights and a power I set.
Young lined up on the left side and Ryden lined up on the right side. Again, the power I set. Gray. Touchdown. He broke the play to the goal line, and Ole Miss doesn't agree with it, but the officials right on the play, and it is a touchdown for James Gray.
They are spot playing James Gray, number 31, using him where they have to because he's been sick all week. A little toss from the power I, follows his fullback 43 up in front, Garnett, and his tailback, and then cuts it back when he sees that goal line and gets in for the score.
Extra point try by Scott Segrist, and it's good. And so it is 14-7 Ole Miss as Texas Tech out of the Southwest Conference breaks the... They'll be right back to Independence Stadium.
We're not a company, but outstanding people come to us every day. People who want to make a contribution to a team and do work that really counts. People eager to see new places, do the unusual, and find the unusual. People who become your friends for life. People just like you. We're not a company. We're your country. We're the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Army. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
Step into the world of tomorrow with Hitachi, an innovative world of electronics. determined to take you beyond ordinary video cassette recording, where an ingenious computer brain guides you through every program function, and exceptional technology has brought high-fidelity sound to today's VCR. That's quality. That's Hitachi.
The sight, the sound of quality, a leader, Hitachi.
76 yards in 17 plays. Time of possession for Texas Tech, 5 minutes and 11 seconds. 2 sustaining drives, 1 for each side. As Tech answers back Ole Miss.
Got back into their kind of play, the short, possessive passing game, utilizing their slot backs, getting themselves upfield with that. Occasionally the draw play. Excellent drive to get themselves back in this ball game, and we've got ourselves a football game with 7:47 left.
Ambrose, and he can go all the way. And he was not there that time as the markers fly, and when they pick up the banana peel, while they do it, let's go to Steve Grad.
This is David Stickles, an interior lineman who popped the hole for the touchdown. What's it like on the bottom of that pile?
Well, I had a 4 technique, and I just got on his shoulder, rolled him back, and then my face was in the ground, and all I could do was listen for the crowd for the touchdown.
Did you know Gray was in?
By the crowd, that's the only way.
All right, David, thanks.
David Stickles, by the way, came up to me yesterday and asked me if I would do something for him, and I said absolutely. As you look at the scoring drive, there's a lady in a Dallas hospital who's 86 years of age. David refers to her as Granny. Her name is Mrs. C.A. Daniels, and he's recovering from surgery in a Dallas hospital.
Below the waist, on the coverage, down.
As you hear the call of the illegal block below the waist against Texas Tech. So we wish a speedy recovery to Mrs. C.A. Daniels, who is recovering in that Dallas hospital. Get well, Granny. 1st and 10, Ole Miss from their own 38-yard line. They lead at 14-7. And Ambrose quickly makes his presence felt with his 5th reception of the evening. James Johnson, the strong side linebacker, brings him down after a gain of about 10 yards, close to a first down. Might be enough for a first down. Looks to be enough.
James Ambrose has 32 receptions this year for close to 600 yards. Here he comes out of the slot as they dump the ball off to him and force James Johnson to come from a linebacker position to cover him. That's why you end up with first downs, and so far, Ole Miss is utilizing Ambrose in many ways.
Perry goes in motion, and Young back to throw. Quickly to the outside, Willie Goodlow. Looks like another first down for Ole Miss inside the 40-yard line of Texas Tech. Chased out of there by Brad Hastings and Leonard Jones.
That time Ambrose from the split end position cleared the area out, and Goodlow was permitted to get into the flat, again pitting himself against the linebacker for another big gain.
Bill Bob, Ole Miss had #1 defense in the Southeastern Conference, and that rushing touchdown by James Gray was only the 2nd rushing TD against Ole Miss in the last 25 quarters.
Very impressive defensive football team, very aggressive.
1st and 10, Ole Miss at the 39 of Texas Tech. Young committed to the pass. He wants Ambrose off his fingertips. Incomplete. Defending on the play, Leonard Jones, the roverback.
Again, taking Ambrose, putting him in the flat, bringing him underneath, and now driving him deep with a chance to beat him deep. And with his speed at 4.5 for the 40, Mark Young puts the ball up there just about right. Ambrose is just a hair too short of this pass, but he's got him deep on the outside. We'll see it again.
Coming up at halftime, we'll be showing you the Senior All-America on the collegiate ranks and the Valley High School All-America defensive team. That comes up at halftime. 2nd and 10 play is Young back to throw. With time, hits Perry inside the 30-yard line. And close to another first down. Brad Hastings, the middle linebacker, making the stop on Mario Perry. It's close to a first down. Looks to be a little short.
Mario Perry, the tight end. What a beautiful job that Ole Miss is doing and coming to a variety of receivers. That time Perry came inside, curled back to the outside, one-on-one with the linebacker. Again, Young got plenty of time, got him the football, close to a first down. Lots of balance in this offense. Running the football well, variety of passing as Billy Brewer looks on. His offense is really moving the football tonight.
Texas Tech had a reputation coming into the ball game of being a tough defensive team. Spike Dykes said if our defensive line can put some heat on Ole Miss's offense, we'll be all right. Right now, they're not putting much heat on Ole Miss at all.
They've got him off balance. They're keeping him off balance by the way they're throwing the football. They're getting excellent protection from their offensive line. They're also running the football effectively. And there is Mark Young.
Nice stats, 13 of 19, and he quickly calls for a timeout with 6:46 remaining second quarter. We're at the Independence Bowl in Shreveport, Louisiana, the 11th Independence Bowl. Howard David, Bob Cacciola, and Steve Grad. Happy to be here. We're featuring tonight two universities of outstanding reputation, not only in football, but in the classroom. Ole Miss. You look at the Ole Miss information and you find out that researchers at the University Medical Center developed the first electrical current anesthesia and performed the first successful heart transplant at Ole Miss. And then you go down to Lubbock, Texas, and you find out that Texas Tech's the only university in Texas that offers instruction in medicine, law, agricultural sciences, and engineering all on one campus.
They've got all their graduate schools right on that campus in Lubbock, and we asked yesterday in talking with Spike Dykes, we asked him about how do you sell that school, and he talked about just that, the fact that they had those kind of schools on their campus, which was very attractive to youngsters that want to go to school, particularly out of Texas.
So Ole Miss now faced with a 3rd and 1. They lead it 14-7. The ball at the 29-yard line of Texas Tech. Again, Perry comes in motion. The inside handoff to Tony Dentley. Tony Dentley, the big man at 6'1½", 260 pounds, and it is enough for a first down.
Once again, the short yardage situation, 40, the freshman, Tony Dentley, 6'1½", 260 pounds, comes in, and they just don't make any pretense about who's going to carry the football. He does, and he's got the first down.
Mark Young against Vanderbilt this year, Bob, completed 14 of 23 for 195 yards. That was his best effort of the year. He's got those numbers about in the first half. 1st and 10, Ole Miss. Young back to throw. The blitz from the blind side. And the flags fly as the tackle is made on the quarterback sack by James Mosley.
First time that Tech has come with the rush, and from the backside, Mosley gets in to make the play. The first time they put pressure, and we'll see it coming from the right side of the screen as Mosley, number 82, comes in and gets him on the backside with the pressure, with the hit, to throw him for a loss.
Jay Schimmel tried to keep James Mosley out of there, but not successful that time. Following this telecast, Bob Cacciola, Steve Grad, and I will be traveling to Tampa, Florida for the Tuesday night game. Let's hear the call.
Holding on the offense. Penalty declined. 2nd down.
Quarterback sack holds up. I started to say we'll be going to Tampa, Florida to bring you the Tuesday night telecast at 8 Eastern time of the Dogs, Georgia against Boston College. Vince Dooley, Jack Bicknell leading their respective forces. 2nd down and 16. Ball is stripped, it's loose. Young picks it up, he fumbles it, and it's Texas Tech ball. Coming up with a loose ball was Michael Johnson, the weak side linebacker, who comes up with the first turnover of the ball game. Texas Tech had 41 takeaways this year. That time they come up with a big one to stop a drive. 5:50 remaining. 2nd quarter. The Ole Miss Rebels leading by a touchdown.
The cavalry. They were always ready to serve, always there to protect. America's frontier looked to them for insurance. Their spirit still rides with the Kemper Cavalry, symbol of the quality insurance the Kemper Group provides today for your home, auto, life, health, and business. Once you compare Kemper, you'll ride with us.
The dentist always remembered me because of my tartar. He would have to spend hours scraping. And when he said Tartar Control Crest, of course I went with it.
To remove ugly tartar from your teeth, a dentist or hygienist must scrape it off. But to fight cavities with fluoride and help keep teeth tartar-free, more dentists recommend Tartar Control Crest.
I have to spend less time in the dentist office. I thank Tartar Control Crest for this.
Tartar Control Crest, the dentist choice to help keep your teeth tartar-free.
It means I can smile all the time.
Eddie Anderson comes out wide to the left side. Wayne Walker wide to the right. Couple of the Smurfs for Texas Tech. They trail it 14-7. Billy Joe Tolliver wants to get the equalizer right here. Walker makes the reception inside the 15-yard line. Wayne Walker, the sophomore, only 5'9", 160 pounds, beats Don Price and Jeff Noblin.
And he gets behind the free safety 35 Noblin, who's got to get over there and cover his cornerback Price deep. And there's the speed of number 80, Walker.
48 yards on the reception. Walker had to wait for that ball. It was underthrown. When you got a guy that runs that fast, fastest in the Southwest Conference, you really got to get it out there.
And that time he just beat the cornerback Price, and the safety didn't have enough speed to get over there to protect him. The ball was there. They've got it sitting on the 11-yard line.
First down, Texas Tech at the Ole Miss 11-yard line. The inside handoff to the fullback, Isaac Garnett. And as the umpire, let's go down to Steve Grad.
Michael Johnson, it was your fumble recovery that set up this big drive. What's been the problem in lack of breaks so far for your defense?
Well, right now, they've been kind of throwing the pass real good on us, and we just have to be on our P's and Q's. They got a good running game, too.
What's it like to see a loose ball there right before your very eyes?
Well, I just tried to get to it the best way I could, and I happened to be out there in the flats where the ball was rolling, so I hopped on as soon as I could.
All right, maybe they'll convert it.
Second down and 7. The timing pattern, it's incomplete, but there's a marker on the play, and it's going to be pass interference. It was intended for Eddie Anderson, and they threw the flag on Stevan Moore.
Stevan Moore, number 27. This is the fade pattern with the wide receiver Anderson just breaking to the outside, trying to put it over the outside shoulder here, and Moore bumps him right there. Doesn't give him a chance to break to the football. The official puts the flag.
Well, if they have a little bit of discussion in the courtroom, my money's on Anderson. He's a pre-law major at Texas Tech. And he'll know how to defend himself very well.
Anderson, number 1, only a sophomore, one of the Smurfs, 5'9", 160 pounds. So what do we got here?
Apparently, it's offensive pass interference. I guess Eddie Anderson lost his battle in court. Spike Dykes does not agree with that call. But let's wait for the call from the officials.
Interference, offense, loss of down, coming up.
Tough penalty. Tough penalty. Here it is, the fade pattern. He's throwing it to the outside. Oh, well. You tell me. I don't see anything.
Well, you can't, you know.
It may have started it before, but it looks like he tried to push off to get outside. But that's a tough call when it's such very tight coverage on the part of the cornerback.
The inside handoff to Garnett, not much, and it's going to bring up 4th down. Robert Smith and Jeff Harrod, the twin linebackers, making the stop on the play on Irvin Ferris.
Very tough penalty because it took him away from the score. Now they got to try and get 3 points here.
So with 4:34 remaining in the second quarter, Scott Segrest, who's 13 of 22, kicking the field goals. This will be a 37-yarder. And he shanked it. Just didn't get it at all. Something happened there. He just did not get any of that. He's got 49, 50, 51-yard range, but something happened. Just did not get it.
Scott Segrest is the son of Cal Segrest, who's the baseball coach. Cal Segrest, a little bit of trivia for you. Do you remember who Cal Segrest first came up to the major leagues with?
I give up.
Your old great ball club, the New York Yankees.
My old great ball club? You're talking about a guy that grew up in Brooklyn.
Well, Cal Segrest was the baseball coach at Texas Tech.
So with 4:19 remaining second quarter, 1st and 10 Ole Miss from their own 21-yard line. Quickly Young makes the connection to Sean Sykes. Few yards, not very much. Michael Johnson and Boyd Cowan combining on the coverage.
Sykes coming out of the backfield, right into the flat. Area vacated by the wide receiver driving the cornerback off. Just a control pattern. Pick up 4 yards, 2nd down and 6.
Ricky Myers goes out. Willie Green comes in with a play. 2nd down and 6 with 3:47 to play in the second quarter. And Mark Young setting up the screen to the right side to Joe Mickles. a couple of yards shy of a first down. 25, Roland Mitchell.
Roland Mitchell, the cornerback, the senior from Bay City, Texas. Probably the most gifted athlete on this defensive football team. He's a 7-foot, 3.5-inch high jumper. Great athlete. Came up from the cornerback position to make the hit.
That time he stayed on the ground, made the hit at ground level. Mark Young now 15 of 21 for 149 yards. They come out of the wishbone on short yardage. Dump off to Mario Perry. Great call. And the reason why it was a great call to Mario Perry is because it worked.
It was a great call because it was 3rd and short yardage. They came out in the wishbone, looked like the run. Good little fake in there to the fullback, the whole linebacker. Just let Mario Perry at 6'5 and a half, 230, sort of outside release and get the football on the corner for good yardage. Perry is looked upon by many as a one player has great NFL potential. He can run the 40 and 4.5, and at 6'5 and a half, he's a good-looking target.
First down at the 41-yard line. Young again back to throw with time. Ambrose inside Texas Tech territory in front of Leonard Jones. Mark Young is on the money. He is 17 of 23 for 170 yards unofficially. Ole Miss is 5-0 this year when Young passes for more than 150 yards.
And when you can get Ambrose on the wide side of the field in single coverage with a cornerback, you got problems. And that time Young found him there and delivered the football.
Got to respect Ambrose when he gets out there. He's a game breaker. He can beat you a lot of ways. He's run back a kickoff this year, 94 yards for a touchdown against Vanderbilt. The draw inside, Mickles, maybe 3 yards, perhaps 4. The strong side linebacker James Johnson with help from Desmond Royal, the right tackle. Ole Miss has 1 timeout remaining with 2:50 to go in the second quarter. Texas Tech has 2 timeouts left. Ole Miss leading it 14-7. At the 11th Independence Bowl, Howard David, Bob Cassiola, and Steve Grad. Ricky Myers and J.R. Ambrose out wide to the right side. Mario Perry top of your screen to the left. Incomplete, intended for Willie Goodlow. Goodlow being covered on the play by Brad Hastings, the middle linebacker.
And that's a good situation. Hastings is an excellent football player from tackle to tackle. He's the inside guy. Willie Goodlow coming out of the backfield gets into that flat. The pass was there, right on the money, just did not hold it. But that's what they want. They want that match where they can put their halfback on the middle linebacker.
Meanwhile, there was a marker on the play, and Ole Miss is stepping backwards. They're discussing it with Brad Hastings, the co-captain. Hastings, a couple of years ago, decided that he walked into a place and was trying to break up a fight and being Mr. Good Guy, and he took a knife right in his chest, very close to some key arteries up in there, and he found out he was not Superman. But he recovered, and he's all right now.
He sure is all right. He's just short of 500 career tackles, and he is the blue-collar worker on that defense, believe me.
Ambrose has 6 receptions for 76 yards. He had 7 balls for 139 against Arkansas State. 2nd and 17 play. Young buying time with the roll. And the connection to J.R. Ambrose. It is complete. Close to another first down in front of Leonard Jones. Jones is having a career night and trying to keep up with this guy.
Nice little action here. Young, who's been dropping back this time, is on a set drop back, then decides to roll from the pocket. This is designed this way. He moves the pocket out and has Ambrose come back on the sideline to catch the football. That's the old Joe Theismann action that the Redskins ran so many times.
Ambrose with 7 receptions in the ball game. Willie Green goes out wide to the left. 3rd down in the yard. Ole Miss again out of the wishbone. They give it to the truck, Tony Dantley. We'll see if he got enough where they stopped his forward progress. He ran right into Artis Jackson and Brad Hastings.
Got to play with the clock a little bit now. That clock is starting to wind down for him.
That's a first down for Ole Miss. They mark it at the 37-yard line. Ole Miss still has 1 timeout remaining, but there's 2:17 to go in the second quarter. Plenty of time. Ambrose now 7 receptions, 93 yards. Pre-game notices were right on. Ambrose, a big-time player. Spike Dykes has got his hands full with this guy as Ambrose goes in motion out of your screen. Ball thrown Jones slightly behind Ricky Myers. Stops the clock with exactly 2 minutes to go in the second quarter in front of Eric Everett.
That time they caught him in zone coverage, and they brought the wide receiver Myers underneath in front of the linebacker, in front of the defensive secondary, and just beyond the two linebackers, Hastings and Johnson. And there's the head coach calling the defensive signals as he did all year.
He was a defensive coordinator, second year in a row. We've had a defensive coordinator take over as head coach just before the Independence Bowl. John Gutekunst of Minnesota took over for Lou Holtz last year. And when McWilliams left for Texas, Spike Dykes came in. Trying the inside handoff to 46 Sean Sykes. And Brad Hastings. You wonder why this guy's loaded up on tackles. He's in the middle of everything.
And you can hear it all the way up here. What movement from tackle to tackle. He's just 6'3", 235 pounds.
There's the time at the top of your screen. 1:40 to go in the first half. Ole Miss leading it 14-7. The Rebels have one timeout remaining. Texas Tech has two. You got to believe they're going to put the ball in the air. They've done it effectively in the first half. Ole Miss has. The quick drop and the quick connection to Ricky Myers, and a great hit by Leonard Jones, the Rover, that saved the first down. And now it's decision time for the Rebels.
Here it is. The pass is put right on the corner there as he comes up to make the play. Leonard Jones, number 28, the Rover back at 6'2", 190. Great instincts and great hitting ability.
So now it is decision time. Ole Miss wisely calling for the chains over, which will stop the clock with 1:18. It's awfully close to first down. I think it might be a little short. Or is it right on? It's right on the money. Big first down for Ole Miss. Mark Young, Bob, now has 19 completions. That is his best of the year. He was 18 of 31 for 171 yards in that upset over LSU, 21-19.
And for it, he was voted Player of the Week in the SEC. And he's had an outstanding night so far in the first half. Only a sophomore from Jacksonville, Florida. Mark Young, 6'3", 170 pounds.
Winding down to 1 minute to play in the first half. Mario Perry comes in motion. They run the draw up inside of Nichols, gets inside the 25-yard line, and he runs into Brad Hastings once again. I'll tell you what, Ole Miss is going to see number 44 in their sleep tonight.
They're going to see him in his sleep. At that time, Nichols made yardage. They hit him behind the line of scrimmage, but with his balance, he spun off and still made 3 yards on a play that should have been stopped for no gain. So it's 2nd and 7. A little over 30 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Spike Dykes' defense got to shut him down. Ole Miss in front 14-7. It's a 2nd and 7 play. Looking for Ambrose, and he's got him inside the 15-yard line of the first down. In front of Leonard Jones, and Leonard Jones is seeing number 6 in his sleep.
Leonard Jones doesn't want to believe he caught the ball. He thought he trapped it, but that was a great catch, and he was looking for him all the way, coming in motion from the slot over the middle. Young just waited for him to get open, and again, we've got to say the key to this first half has been the passing of Ole Miss, but particularly the blocking up front of that offensive line.
1st and 10, Ole Miss at the 13-yard line with 15 seconds remaining till the end of the first half. Incompleted pass intended for Ambrose. He got double coverage. Leonard Jones and Boyd Cowan. And that'll stop the clock with the incompletion with 11 seconds remaining until halftime.
And again, he's looking for the money man. The bread and butter, here it is, and over comes 28, Leonard Jones, and the final hit there by the cornerback, Mitchell. The two of them doubled him. They were looking for him. They made the play. They had to do it.
Willie Green comes into the game at split end with 11 seconds remaining. He can put it in the end zone or try to go to the end zone maybe once or twice and then take a field goal. Young, complete inside the 5-yard line, and quickly and alertly Ole Miss calls for timeout with 4 seconds remaining until halftime. Ole Miss leading Texas Tech 14-7 with 4 seconds remaining until halftime. We'll be back.
Behold the beer belly. 50 million Americans need a shortcut to get from fat to flat. Introducing the Gut Buster. It's the ultimate fitness machine specifically designed to firm and flatten the stomach as nothing else can. And ladies, if you're as serious as he is, that flat stomach you had in high school can be yours again. Basic spring-ups like these work the upper abdominal region. Reverse for tension-assisted high-risers. This sturdy unit travels easily, so you can exercise anywhere. And it's yours with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So go ahead, Gut Buster. Ghostbusters. If you're serious about a flat stomach, exercise your right to call toll-free now.
To order, call 1-800-USA-1000. That's 1-800-USA-1000. Use your credit card to avoid COD charges, or send check or money order for $19.95 plus $3 shipping and handling to The Gutbuster, Box 2446, Atlanta, Georgia. That toll-free number again is 1-800-USA-1000.
Move those feet to the USA beat with Dance Party USA. Join Dave Raymond and Top Teens as they count down today's hottest hits and bring you some daring dedications. Weekdays at 5:30, 4:30 Central.
So Brian Owen is going to come in for Ole Miss and attempt a field goal of 23 yards. Between 20 and 29 yards away, Owen is 2 of 4. It's not exactly a lock. David McKinney to hold. Backup quarterback McKinney. But I think they'll go for the field goal. And it's good. So Ole Miss with 1 second remaining until the end of the first half. 14 plays, 74 yards, and Ole Miss had the ball for 4 minutes and 15 seconds. That really, Bob, is a 6-point swing. The field goal Ole Miss made and the field goal Texas Tech missed down on the other side of the field.
The costly penalty that Tech had, which took them away from even getting a touchdown. They ended up with no points. You're right. It was that kind of a swing. Very impressive, though, Ole Miss mixing up their offense with the pass and run, particularly the pass, and the ability of Mark Young, the sophomore quarterback, to do the job.
Bob Cacciola and I and Steve Brad, the three of us will be in Tampa, Florida on Tuesday night, 8 o'clock Eastern. The Bulldogs of Georgia against the Eagles of Boston College. Should be a great one. Each team 8-3. Jack Bicknell, Cowboy Jack from Boston College, and Vince Dooley, the very animated on the sidelines coach of the Dogs. You got a great matchup in Tampa.
We sure do. We have a team in Georgia that runs the ball, the eye back, the tailback, and does a great job, and have 2 great tailbacks at Georgia. And of course, Jack Bicknell and Boston College, a wide open attack. They themselves have a fine running back in Troy Stratford, but they also love to throw the football.
Sean Halloran has really bounced back very well for Boston College. And of course, Lars Tate for Georgia, a tremendous running back. So we got a good one on Tuesday night. 1 second remaining till the end of the first half. They go with the onside kick, and it is covered at the 40-yard line. Actually, just keep the ball on the ground, no run back. Not really an onside kick. And so that is the end of the first half. Ole Miss on top, 17-7. Let's go down. 17-7 Ole Miss. As you see the field goal kick of Brian Owen, who kicked the 23-yarder to give Ole Miss that lead, 17-7 at halftime. And now let's go down to Steve Brad.
Coach Billy Brewer, assess the first half for us, please.
Well, I think we got some points out of 3 out of the 5 times we had the football. Then we had the penalty, and then we fumbled football back down here to the lost set. Other than this one, we played a pretty good first half. Billy Joe Tolliver's got a great arm, and he got great speed to wide. We just can't run with that kid when he does that if we give him time. But right now, defense is playing well, and offense is doing what it takes.
Billy, real quickly, you haven't played in a long time. You know, it's been bad weather to practice. Are you surprised at how well your team has come around in the first half, execution-wise?
Back at Independence Stadium in Shreveport, Louisiana. Howard David, Bob Cacciola, and Steve Grad with the score at halftime as you see it. Ole Miss leading Texas Tech 17-7. Here's our SOTY halftime highlights. It all started out with Ole Miss culminating a 9-play drive, Bob, and a 1-yard touchdown blast.
Willie Goodlow, the junior from Layton, Alabama, going in off the block of his fullback, Joe Mickles, and he's in for the first score.
And Joe Mickles went from blocking back to scoring back, 10 yards away from the end zone.
The 5'10", 210-pound junior from Birmingham, Alabama, takes it in for the second score off a draw play.
That made it 14-0 Ole Miss. And still in the second quarter, a sustained drive by the Texas Tech Red Raiders. 17 plays, covering 76 yards. And James Gray, the freshman, who had a flu yesterday, he, along with the free safety for Texas Tech, Merv Skurlock, each spent time in the hotel yesterday because the flu bug really got to him, but they're both playing tonight. Here's our statistics of the first half as you look at them. A couple of records have fallen by the wayside at the Independence Bowl. Mark Young, the quarterback of Ole Miss, has completed 21 of 30. The 21 completions breaks the Independence Bowl record, and we're still with 30 minutes of playing time remaining. And J.R. Ambrose has caught 8 balls for 102 yards. That is the most receptions in J.R.'s career. I was teasing Langston Rogers, the sports information director at Ole Miss. I said, he's J.R. Ambrose, not J.R. Ewing. But then again, when he gets into the pro ranks, he may make more money than J.R. Ewing. With the price of oil, he may be worth more than he is now.
Well, the thing that's been setting apart this game in the first half has been the passing of Mark Young, the open offense of Ole Miss, and they are about to receive this kickoff from Texas Tech.
J.R. Ambrose gets cautioned by Willie Goodlow. Don't run it out. So they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. Ambrose broke a 94-yard kickoff return against Vanderbilt earlier this year for a touchdown.
Very important here for Texas Tech to stop this drive. They don't want to give any more points to Ole Miss this early in the third period. Trailing 17-7. They got to get their hands on the ball and get some points to stay close.
A reminder, this program authorized by the Mizzlou Television Network solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this event, including the imposition of a charge for viewing the program without the express written consent of the Mizzlou Television Network, is prohibited. Young again going up top right away. Completion number 22 for Mark Young. This time it goes to Sean Sykes, the receiver.
Sean Sykes coming out of the backfield, a tailback, number 46. Started this season off, was injured mid-season. That's when Willie Goodlow got his chance to come in. Sykes is back. He's 100%. He's in the backfield, and they've been hitting that tailback in the flat, forcing the linebackers for Texas Tech to try and cover him.
12-yard pickup and a first down for the Rebels of Ole Miss. They lead it 17-7. Perry comes in motion on the inside handoff. Breaking into the outside is Sean Sykes. Chased out of bounds by Roland Mitchell, the cornerback.
Sean Sykes has that kind of speed. He's got that real good quickness to the outside at 5'11", 200 pounds. They call him Lightning. Sean Lightning Sykes. West Point, Mississippi.
A 9-yard pickup for Sean Sykes. And it's going to bring up second down and a yard.
Second down and 1 for Ole Miss.
Mark Young was 21 of 30 in the first half. He's now 22 of 31 for 225 yards. From an Ole Miss team that relied primarily on the run during the year, but they said they were going to come out throwing today and breaking it almost all the way to about the 49-yard line. Well, it's Joe Mickles, brought down by Eric Everett, the halfback.
The balance in the Ole Miss offense has been the difference tonight. They've been able to run the football with the fullback and the tailback on occasion, but they've really opened up the passing game, particularly utilizing J.R. Ambrose in many situations, from the slot, from the wide receiver, and he's dynamite if he can get one-on-one coverage.
Ricky Myers and J.R. Ambrose out wide to the right side. Willie Green to the left. Young again. Pump fakes now, trying to scramble for yardage. Gets out of bounds in Tech territory, about the 49-yard line. And making the play was Roland Mitchell and Leonard Jones chasing him out on the Mississippi side of the football field. Gain of about 2 on the play.
Coming into this game, Mark Young, with his 8 TDs coming into this ball game, was the most a sophomore had thrown for at Mississippi since Archie Manning.
Archie Manning was the guest speaker yesterday at the Minuteman Luncheon. Archie said, one season I threw for 4,000 yards and led my team to a 1-15 record with the New Orleans Saints.
He did a great job. Yeah, very impressive.
Mario Perry in motion, and the draw. Mickles, maybe he got 2 yards, perhaps 3. Hastings, Brad Hastings, who's had a big first half, gets help from the strong side linebacker, James Johnson. Johnson, not only a good football player, but a top scholar athlete. Was a walk-on at Texas Tech, had a 3.29 grade point average. You'd like to spend so much time talking about what some of these young men have done in the classroom, and there are a lot of very smart young men out of this football field here tonight. 3rd down and 4 for Ole Miss. With protection. Young finally sacked, this time by number 82, James Mosley. Mosley had 4 quarterback sacks during the year. He comes up with his 5th and the 3rd QB sack of the night.
And the reason he get sacked that time was that he could not find the receiver. The receiver never came open. He had very good secondary coverage. He gave Mosley a chance to keep pursuing him, put the pressure on him, and finally get him for a loss. And Texas Tech has got the ball back.
Bill Smith only punted once in the first half for 48 yards. He's an All-America punter, and he sails a dandy. Fair catch called for. Ball hits inside the 5 as Tyrone Thurman signaled the fair catch, knew he was going to be in trouble, just let it go out of bounds. So a 48-yard punt with no return. With 13:03 remaining, 3rd quarter, Ole Miss by 10.
We're not a company, but we recognize potential. We develop it. We use it. We'll make sure that as your responsibility grows, so will you. As your ability for leadership grows, so will you. Working with us, you'll gain self-confidence. Become a person with a future. We're not a company. We're your country. We're the Marines, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force. We're the armed forces. It's a great place to start.
You're in my heart, you're in my soul. You be my breath, should I roll. You are my love.
Mercury for 1987. Shaped to hold the road and to capture your heart.
You're in my heart, you're in my soul. You be my breath.
Mercury, the shape you want to be in.
So Texas Tech comes to the line of scrimmage against the #1 defense in the Southeast Conference, the Ole Miss Rebels. They were 14th in the nation, allowed only 286 yards per game. Best in the SEC, and the connection to Wayne Walker. Walker had a big reception in the first half of 48 yards. This time, Stephon Moore gave him a little bit of a cushion, and Wayne Walker there for it.
Stephon Moore, one of the best young defensive backs in the SEC, was playing zone coverage. He laid off a Walker that time, gave him plenty of area to work in. And Tolliver, very important for Billy Joe Tolliver to have some success early. He came with that sideline cut, hit him right away, first down. Tech's got to get upfield, get some points early here.
Tyrone Thurman wide to the right. Wayne Walker, top of your screen on the left-hand side. Ole Miss showing a little bit of blitz. And 46, Irvin Ferris is decked by Robert Smith, the left side linebacker, after a gain of a yard. Robert Smith made the switch effectively from fullback to linebacker.
He was recruited as a running back at one time, and he came in here and he filled in quickly because of the injury to Fuzzy Huddleston, one of the outstanding linebackers on his Ole Miss team. Gave Smith a chance to start.
Gain of 2 on the play, 2nd down and 8. Texas Tech, their own 37-yard line. Tolliver underthrew the intended receiver, Tyrone Thurman. Merv Skurlock, you see it, Skurlock, you watched him just coughing just right now. This man's got the flu, and he's playing tonight. Tolliver now 9 of 17 for 123 yards, and Spike Dykes' indoctrination as a head coach right now is not going in his direction. But the ball game still with 12:02 remaining 3rd quarter, plenty of time to play. 3rd and 8 coming up for the Raiders. They run the draw. Credit Mike Fitzsimmons for slowing up the ball carrier. Fitzsimmons, the left tackle. And then Lopez Jones made the stop finally on Irvin Ferris.
There's the number 71. Fitzsimmons makes the hit, slows him down enough for his linebackers to come over and finally make the hit. That time, they were faking blitz up front. They jumped out of it the last moment with their linebackers, and Texas Tech tried to run a draw play against them.
Chris Burns to punt it away. And he hangs it up well. Goodlow, fair catch at the 23-yard line. With 11:26 remaining after a 35-yard punt with no return. 11:26 to go, 3rd quarter. As you get a good look at Willie Goodlow. Had the most rushing yards for an Ole Miss back since Buford McGee in 1983. Of course, McGee had the good showing in the Independence Ball that year. Spike Dykes, the head coach at Texas Tech. His son, Rick, backfield coach at Rice under Jerry Burt.
Very proud of his son, Rick, who's graduated from New Mexico and now is on the staff with Jerry Burt.
Ricky Myers out wide to the left side. Mario Perry comes in motion. Young, who's having a big night throwing the ball, has this one intercepted at the 30-yard line. This is going to go for a touchdown. Merv Scarlett said he was sick before the game. We've been telling you that all night. And Merv Scarlett, the big hitter who had the flu yesterday, comes up with an intercepted pass and a touchdown. And just like that, one play, the Red Raiders are back in the ball game.
Skurlock, who had 3 interceptions this year. The ball is thrown in the middle as we pick up here with Young. He's getting a little pressure, and he gets hit just as he delivers the ball. When you throw the ball in the middle, that's where you got a chance for the interception. He was looking for his tight end, 81 Ferry, but Skurlock, with his 4th interception of the season, takes it all the way back for the score.
The extra point try is perfect. And Ole Miss now finds themselves in a bit of a dogfight. Not that they didn't think they were in one to begin with. And it's a 17-14 game as Merv Skurlock returns a 32-yard interception for a touchdown.
The Independence Bowl is sponsored in part by Kemper and the independent insurance agents who represent us. For all of your insurance needs, ride with Kemper.
Long ago on the frontier, homeowners insurance meant knowing the cavalry was close at hand. That kind of protection was hard to beat. It still is. Today, Kemper provides insurance to homeowners, condo owners, and renters with a wide range of money-saving discounts. And you can count on professional service from the independent agents who represent the Kemper cavalry. To protect your homestead, compare Kemper. You ride with us.
Well, and what's your name?
Susan Walker. What's yours?
Kris Kringle. I'm Santa Claus.
Sebastian Cabot, Jane Alexander, and David Hartman throw a new twist on a Christmas classic.
Now, that's what I call a tradition.
Miracle on 34th Street.
Sunday on USA's Nabisco Family Showcase.
That's what Christmas is all about.
This is Merv Skurlock, who just intercepted. More amazing, you're suffering from the flu. Tell me about the interception.
Yeah, they've been picking us apart using that play. We're just sitting there waiting on it now, and that's what happened. It's turned into a touchdown.
You must be tough to play with a severe case of the flu.
Yeah, it is. I have to come out after every play just about now.
Well, congratulations on cutting your team's deficit.
All right, thank you.
Greg Lee on the return. James Nixon with the tackle, and here's the touchdown.
We pick it up from the end zone, and we see as the quarterback Young looks to the middle for 81 Perry coming across the middle. He really throws it up with 3 defenders, and there's Skurlock coming up with the interception, and he takes off for the end zone. And big play for Texas Tech. Gets him right back in a ball game with plenty of time left in the 3rd period.
11 minutes, 11 seconds to play in the 3rd. First interception after 32 attempts by Young. And the Red Raiders getting all fired up now. Roland Mitchell making the stop on J.R. Ambrose. 17-14, Ole Miss on top.
Number 25, Roland Mitchell, is a senior from Bay City, Texas. We mentioned earlier that he's probably the most gifted athlete here. He usually draws the assignment of covering the toughest receiver. That time, he was pitted one-on-one with J.R. Ambrose, and he came through with a big play.
Freshman Bobby Martin's in at split end for Ole Miss. Goes out to the right side. Ambrose and Myers to the near side. Out of your picture right now. Ambrose comes in motion. Mark Young scrambling. Maybe he got to the line of scrimmage. And the Tech defense, all of a sudden, as Artis Jackson and James Mosley combined for the stop, the Tech defense coming alive after the Skurlock interception for a touchdown.
That time Young was looking all the way for Martin, number 9, who came into the game as a substitution. He never looked away from him, and the secondary covered him. The cornerbacks were with the wide receiver, and the linebacker came out on the slot receiver.
3rd and 7 play coming up for Ole Miss, with Ambrose and Myers to the left side. The ball at the 36 of Ole Miss. Young may try to run for it, and he's going to be far short of a first down. Brad Hastings chased him down, number 44. Hastings has been all over the field, sideline to sideline.
That's a designed drop-back dash, as they call it, sprint out. And as he rolled out of that drop-back action, and started on the corner, Hastings had enough speed, took the right pursuit angle to cut him off and keep it to a 2-yard gain, forcing a punt.
Tyrone Thurman back to await Bill Smith's punt. Smith has kicked twice tonight, each time 48 yards. High kick. Thurman's going to return this one at the 12-yard line. Looking to turn the corner. Brought down at the 15-yard line by Tony Bennett, who's made 3 tackles tonight on special teams. A 51-yard punt, 3-yard return. Bill Smith came in with credentials as one of the best punters in the nation. Tyrone Thurman came in as one of the best kick return people in the nation.
When you've got a punter like him and you've got that kind of hang time, you get great coverage, and Ole Miss really covered well. Never gave Thurman a chance to find a seam or a chance to return that football. Texas Tech is starting deep in their territory.
Red Raiders averaged 365 yards of total offense per game, 3rd best in the Southwest Conference. Maybe they're getting it going emotionally. The reverse to Wayne Walker. And dances out of bounds. No flags. Close to a first down. It looks to be enough. There's an Ole Miss player injured on the play.
A great block here. This is a beautifully executed reverse. He comes out on a drop back action and he pitches the ball back to Walker, and as Walker comes around, he picks up on number 54, Aubrey Richburg. He's the offensive left tackle. Watch this play by 54 as he levels the pursuer. He gets outside the contain of Walls, the defensive end, number 80, gets upfield out of bounds, very close to a first down.
Darrell Smith, the nose guard, was the man that was really blocked on the play. And let's go down to Steve Grad.
So far, Bill Smith, the punter of Ole Miss. So far, Thurman hasn't been able to return anything. What's your strategy?
Well, we'll try to rectify our problem with our wireless mic that Steve Grad is holding. But Darrell Smith is the shaken-up rebel, and now coming off the field. 12-yard pickup on the play on the reverse by Wayne Walker. And Darrell Smith took some shot from Aubrey Richburg, the left tackle.
Richburg is a senior. He started all 3 years for Tech. Senior from Hereford, Texas. 6'3", 250 pounds of contact.
Ball at the 27-yard line. Texas Tech with the ball, trailing 17-14. First down. Tolliver. All overthrown, intended for Travis Price. Defending on the play was Joe Nathan Shelley and Howard Moss. So it'll bring up 2nd and 10 with 8:53 to play, 3rd quarter at the 11th Independence Bowl. Howard David, Bob Cassiola, and Steve Grad bringing you the play-by-play action. Will be in Tampa on Tuesday to bring you the Hall of Fame ball between Georgia and Boston College. 2nd and 10 coming up for Texas Tech. Garnett, first down near the 40-yard line, beyond the 40-yard line. Isaac Garnett, the fullback, the sophomore from Midland, Texas. Another one of the players that was coached by Spike Dykes in high school.
They come out of the split backs. Usually they like to drop back off of this action. They run a little sweep back into the sideline, away from the field, get good blocks in the corner by Richburg, the left tackle, and Keith, the left guard. Good yardage, good running by Garnett. First down.
Devon Moore made the tackle on the play on Isaac Garnett. There you see his numbers from 1986. 1st and 10, Red Raiders from their own 42-yard line. Ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage, intended for Thurman. Rodney Lowe got a piece of it, the right tackle, number 31, from Pompano Beach, Florida.
The big tackle got his hands up in the face of the quarterback, Tolliver, as he was looking to come downfield again, looking for the wide receiver, Walker, in the corner.
Eddie Anderson comes into the game in place of Tyrone Thurman at the wingback. And Anderson goes out wide to the right side at the bottom of your screen. One setback. Isaac Garnett protecting everybody in pass patterns. Looking for Wayne Walker. The ball was overthrown. Stevon Moore defending on the play along with Joe Nathan Shelley.
They had him double covered because they brought Shelley into the game as the nickel back. They had the 5th defensive back in the ball game, which covered Walker well, but they had 3 receivers to the wide side of the field. They elected to go back into the sideline deep. Good job by Ole Miss.
Charles Odiorn comes in at left tackle for Aubrey Richburg for Texas Tech. Tolliver now 9 of 20 for 123 yards. Third and 10 play coming up for the Red Raiders. Intended for Tyrone Thurman, broken up by Don Price. Tolliver's making a little bit of an error right now. He's watching his receiver all the way down the field.
Exactly, and he looks at Walker all the way here. Excellent job by Price, 45, the cornerback, as he comes up and makes the play in front of the receiver, not giving him a chance to scoop that ball up. Good job by the secondary of Ole Miss on the last two plays.
Chris Burns to put it away. Either Willie Goodlow or Ricky Myers. Wobbly spiral, fair catch called for by Willie Goodlow. With 8:27 remaining third quarter after a 36-yard punt. Rebels lead the Red Raiders by 3.
How smart a shopper are you? How do you decide which car to buy, which VCR, which TV? For the answers to your toughest shopping questions, call and subscribe to Consumer Reports, America's #1 consumer advisory magazine. Each year, we test cars for handling, economy, and safety, and report the results in issue after issue. From the covering power of wall paint to the durability of a mattress, Consumer Reports rates thousands of products we buy at retail. We refuse all outside advertising, so you get unbiased information to make the right choice. Call this number now to get 11 issues of Consumer Reports, including in-depth reports on consumer topics like fast food, mortgages, allergies, and also receive the year-end buying guide issue when published. Plus, 2 free gifts with your paid subscription, the 1987 buying guide issue and the medicine show, all for $16. Call toll-free 1-800-USA-1000.
There's your score. Ole Miss on top, 17-14. One score in this quarter. A 32-yard pass interception by Merv Skurlock has brought the Red Raiders back into the game. Sean Sykes, not much. Actually, better than it turned out. Eric Everett was in on the stop on Sean Sykes. They give him a gain to about the 27. We'll call it a gain of 3.
Texas Tech plays a 4-3 defense. Those 4 down linemen up front, Riggs, Royal, and Jackson at tackle, and Boysaw at defensive end really put pressure on the line of scrimmage and let those 3 linebackers, Hastings, James Johnson, and Michael Johnson, flow to the football.
Play fake, Young. The blitz is on, and they get him. 4th quarterback sack of the night. This one registered by number 35, Calvin Riggs. He is the best quarterback sacker on the Red Raider defense. 10.5 sacks this year. 5 fumbles he's caused, and he's recovered 1.
And there he is, 35 on the right side, just beating the block of the offensive tackle and just getting around and getting upfield and getting in on the quarterback, Young, before he ever had a chance to set up. There he is, Calvin Riggs from Midland, Texas, a senior, 6 foot, 215. He's got that quickness to get up and put pressure on the quarterback.
Another one of those guys, coached by Spike Dykes in high school at Midland High. 3rd and 14 play coming up. They run the draw. Joe Mickles, the fullback, will not get the first down. Maybe he got 3 yards or so. Michael Johnson and Brad Hastings combining for the tackle, and it's going to bring up a punting situation, and the tide of the game is turned around.
I'll tell you, when you want to run back inside, you got to start looking for Hastings. You can hear that from up here. He made the hit.
You better check your insurance policy, too, while you're at it. Bill Smith for the 4th time tonight to put it away. And a flags fly. Might be a delay of game. No, it's not a delay of game. We'll see if they lined up in a legal formation.
There was movement in the offensive set, in the offensive line by Ole Miss. It looked to me like one of their up linemen moved.
Oh, it's an inadvertent flag.
Disregard the flag. No play. 4th down.
Well, so they changed their mind. Larry Rice and his crew off from the PC2A. High snap, good play by Bill Smith to bring it down, and it was nearly blocked. Tracked down at around the 40-yard line by the Red Raiders' Leonard Jones. Bill Smith with his poorest punt of the night, that only 37 yards.
Got a little pressure on him that time, inside pressure from the defensive end coming from the right side, forced him to kick that a little sooner than he anticipated.
Texas Tech out of the Southwest Conference, a record of 7-4 on the year. Ole Miss 7-3-1. Each holding a victory over a New Year's Day bowl team. Texas Tech over Arkansas and Ole Miss over LSU. 6:31 remaining, third quarter. Ole Miss clinging to a 17-14 lead. Tolliver pump faking it one time. And it is almost intercepted, and the intended receiver, Eddie Anderson, turned from receiver to defensive back on the play.
Smart move by Anderson. That time Tolliver just put the ball up deep. He's been going short of late, but he knew he had to put pressure and push these cornerbacks off. That time he tried to go deep.
We're going to see a couple of players that are out here tonight playing in this game, the blue-gray. Christmas Day at 5 o'clock Eastern on the Mizzlou Television Network from Crampton Bowl in Montgomery, Alabama. I'd like to say hello to George Chandler, who for years has been involved in the blue-gray game, one of the nice people in America. 2nd and 10 play coming up for the Red Raiders from their own 40. Farris runs into a wave of red, and the ball was stripped away, but did they signal it down? I believe they have signaled the ball down. Returning it was Howard Moss, 38, but I think they have signaled the ball dead at the 42-yard line. Oh, nice try. It just didn't work.
You got to look at this play because this is just a sweep to the left side of the field here as he turns back and pitches the ball back to Farris, working on the corner. 89, Tony Bennett makes a big hit here, and as he's going down, the ball is in the air, and it looks to me that it could have gone the other way.
The old forward progress is stop routine.
Well, that ball, he was not on the ground.
3rd down and 6 play coming up for the Red Raiders. Quick drop by Tolliver. Rice short of a first down at the 49-yard line. Jeff Noblin made the stop, and a hard hit it was. Noblin, not only a tough-nosed football player, a Rhodes Scholar candidate, transferred from Minnesota with a 3.6 grade point average. Jeff Noblin, outstanding young man.
One of 11 selected by the National Football Hall of Fame Foundation.
Just shy of a first down, about the length of the football, and they're not going to go for it on 4th down. So Goodlow and Myers will drop back in twin coverage. That's Goodlow 24, Myers 25. And they'll await the punt of Chris Burns. High punt. Fair catch called for by Myers. He lets it hit at the 6, and it's down by the Red Raiders at the 6-yard line, which is where Ole Miss will put it in play. 1st and 10 after a 44-yard punt with no return. And the Rebels are backed up under the shadows of their goalpost. They lead by 3.
This year, the sophisticated Parisian will be wearing red lipstick, while the young Bostonian is wearing pink. I'm gonna miss you, Jane.
Saying goodbye is never easy.
Jane, telephone, America.
But with AT&T International Long Distance, it's easy to say hello. Because a 10-minute call to France can average just 71 cents a minute.
So are you sophisticated yet?
Sort of.
Only AT&T keeps you this close anywhere in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, Barbara Mandrell.
Someday my dreams will be coming true.
Direct from Nashville, this lady brings you an unforgettable evening of classic country.
It won't be classical music, okay?
She sings and soars, dances and dazzles. And that's why the lady is a champ. A USA special, Monday at 8.
Good hedges make goofy neighbors.
Hey, you're in Bel Air now. Anything goes. Oh, boy.
Sanchez of Bel Air. Tomorrow at 5 on USA.
So Ole Miss starts this drive from their own 7-yard line with 5:01 remaining, 3rd quarter. They lead it by 3. Straight ahead, Sean Sykes dropped by Artis Jackson after a gain of about 3 yards.
Ole Miss coming up with spread formations. They've got 2 wide receivers to one side, split end, single back, and they give that ball to their fullback inside.
Joe Mickles actually the ball carrier, as Willie Green comes in with a play from Billy Brewer in the sidelines. Willie Green comes out to the near side. J.R. Ambrose to the right side, and Perry in motion. 24, Goodlow has not carried the ball all that much tonight. James Mosley making the tackle on the play at the 14-yard line.
Goodlow's been used, as has Sean Sykes as a receiver a lot coming out of the backfield. But it's interesting to note how Ole Miss is using their tight end, Perry. He's either on the line in the normal tight end position, or they'll put him in the slot, bring him back in motion, use him as a blocker, and occasionally look for him in the crucials as a receiver.
3rd down and 2, Ole Miss. They mark it at the 15-yard line. Short of a first down. Willie Goodlow, the ball carrier, and James Mosley got to him. Also had help in there from James Johnson, the strong side linebacker. Goodlow shy of a first down, and now Texas Tech should get excellent field position. Although Bill Smith is probably the best punter in the nation, they still should come away with decent field position.
And this tough defense of Texas Tech, which was a little bit loose in the first half, is coming alive this half, playing a lot tougher against this Ole Miss offense.
Good snap from center. And the punt. Thurman watches it take a lateral roll and gets a charitable roll for Ole Miss to the 36-yard line. So Bill Smith, again, does not have one of his punts returned. This one traveling 51 yards with the roll, with 3:07 to play in the 3rd quarter. And Ole Miss leading at 17-14. Tonight's paid attendance, 46,369. That's a new Independence Bowl record. Breaks the record set in 1984 of 45,034. We expected a record with Texas Tech and Ole Miss coming into this, the 11th Independence Bowl. Tolliver looking and delivering, but incomplete. Pass intended for Eddie Anderson.
Tolliver's got to get back to what was good to him towards the latter part of the 2nd quarter. The short passing game to the slot receiver, particularly Travis Price coming out of that slot back position. Occasionally he's got to go deep because he's got to push those cornerbacks off. But looking at 10 of 24, that's not enough. He's got to improve upon that to keep this ball club close.
2nd down and 10. Irvin Ferris tried to cut it back as he crossed the 40-yard line. His feet gave out, and Joe Nathan Shelley made sure he got no further.
Ferris, the sophomore, averages a little over 4 yards per carry. That time trying to run the sweep out of the split backs to the wide side of the field. Tough to do against this Ole Miss defense because they got great pursuit to the football.
Wayne Walker goes out wide to the left, looking over the shoulder of Billy Brewer, the Ole Miss coach. 3rd and 4 play coming up. Ole Miss showing blitz, and it didn't work. And goodbye, Irvin Ferris. Will they catch him from behind? He's dropped at the 8-yard line by Stevan Moore.
Ole Miss showed blitz. They got the linebackers out of position, and they ran a draw play. It couldn't have been a more perfect call. As you see, the linebackers have vacated the middle. There comes Ferris. There's 66. Jeff Harrod, who's trying to make the play, but he gets hit by the fullback in this position, Garnett, who makes it possible for Ferris to take that ball all the way to the 8-yard line.
52-yard run by Irvin Ferris. Sets up Texas Tech 1st and goal at the 8-yard line of Ole Miss. There's a marker on the play. We're going to get an illegal procedure or motion penalty, I believe, against Texas Tech.
Looks once again like the fullback left before the snap.
And we got an injured Rebel on the field. Well, apparently not. He's all right. Robert Smith, the left side linebacker, a little slow getting up, but he appears to be all right. So this apparently is going to go against Texas Tech. Either illegal motion. Spike Dykes getting an eyeful of what it's like to coach in a bowl game in his first season, actually his first game as a head coach.
Well, he said something to him at halftime because they played a far better 2nd half, both defensively and offensively.
Illegal motion on the offense. Still 1st down.
Illegal motion is the call. It's been a relatively clean game thus far. Total of 5 penalties in the game. So it'll be 1st and goal from the 13-yard line for the Red Raiders. They trail 17-14. Price trying to break the tackle and squirms his way to the, not Price, Eddie Anderson to about the 5-yard line. Dropped by Jeff Noblin.
This time
was Price.
This time Ole Miss goes man for man. They bring on the outside. They bring the linebacker, 38. They force everybody into man coverage, and Tolliver finds his slot back, as we mentioned earlier. Price coming out of the slot position, open, hits him with a football, gets it to the 5-yard line.
2nd and goal, Texas Tech from the 5. The one setback is Isaac Garnett out of the double wing set. Into the end zone, there's a penalty marker thrown, a pass intended for Travis Price. May get a pass interference call against Ole Miss.
They threw that flag in the vicinity of the free safety, Jeff Noblin, who was man for man on the slot back Price.
Pass interference call gives Texas Tech a new set of downs. It'll be 1st and goal at the 2-yard line.
Defensive pass interference in the end zone. 1st down on the 2-yard line.
What happens, you get in close like this, you spread the field like Texas Tech does with their formations. They force you into man coverage. You really got to play them tight. That time Noblin got caught trying to cover the slot.
Ole Miss a slight favorite coming into this ball game tonight, and right now Texas Tech with a power I set has a chance to take the lead for the first time. To about the 1-yard line, Irvin Farris. Mike Fitzsimmons, the left tackle for Ole Miss, making the stop on the play. Fitzsimmons was given a pet snake by a friend, no less. And he was feeding it one day, and the snake tried to bite him, and he killed it. He didn't realize until after a while that the snake was a copperhead.
You never bite the hand that feeds you.
I guess not. 2nd and goal at the 1-yard line. Again, out of that power I set. Farris does not get in. Again, it's Mike Fitzsimmons and Jeff Herrod, and as a tandem, they are murdered. Fitzsimmons, perhaps the best lineman, one of the best linemen, certainly in the Southeast Conference, best for the Ole Miss Rebels.
He's right down there in front of 34, 71, 6'2", 270. He gets right up, nullifies the block of the offensive tackle, and just takes him on and stops him right in his tracks. Great effort by Fitzsimmons.
3rd and goal from the 1-yard line, and that is the end of the 3rd quarter. So they'll have to go in the 100 yards up the other way and go back to begin the 4th quarter. But Texas Tech knocking on the door, trailing by 3.
We got our house together with the help of Home Mechanics. And you can too. Home Mechanics is the how-to magazine that shows you how to do things right the first time, every time, and save hundreds, even thousands of dollars a year. You'll learn 12 watertight ways to avoid big plumbing bills.
How to turn tight spaces into practical storage areas. How to dress up your property with a fence. Design a window garden.
Or build a redwood deck for cookouts. You'll also find low-cost fix-ups to enlarge your kitchen, improve your bathroom, and finish your basement. And right now, you can get Home Mechanics at half price and receive this Home Mechanics answer book absolutely free. Here's how.
Call 1-800-USA-1000, and this answer book is yours free with your paid subscription. You'll get 15 issues of Home Mechanics for $12.97, over 50% off the cover price. Call 1-800-USA-1000.
Every day, 350 tons of paper leaves this mill and heads straight for your desk as memos, reports, newspapers, magazines, all the byproducts of the information explosion. Fortunately, some of this paper is also used to print the Wall Street Journal. At the Journal, more than 400 reporters and editors sift through all the information that could be useful to you and your career. And then they present it to you, each business day, in the Journal's mercifully concise format. There's an important lesson to be learned from all this. Information isn't power. Knowing where to find it is.
Call 800-527-9800 for this special introductory offer. 13 weeks for just $29.50 with a money-back guarantee. 13 weeks, $29.50. Phone 800-527-9800 now for the Wall Street Journal.
We begin the 4th quarter at the 11th Independence Bowl. Texas Tech 3rd and goal at the 1-yard line. Again out of that power I set with 2 tight ends. They try the outside route, and it's no-go for James Gray, the tailback. And it's going to bring up 4th and goal at about the 2-yard line.
What a great play by the defensive end, Wesley Walls. Number 80 on the corner, the 6'5", 243-pound sophomore. They try to run a toss to the outside. Gray tries to break it outside, but 80 gets to make the play.
Ole Miss's defense has given up only 4 rushing touchdowns in the last 33 quarters. 1 tonight, 2 to Lars Tate of Georgia. And they stop him cold here as Scott Segrist with a field goal to tie it up, and this game is all even at 17. 14:52 remaining in the 11th Independence Bowl, and the scoreboard reads 17 for each side.
The issue is clear. Sony Video 8, the system of the future, or VHS-C, the compromise of the past. Now, as we've seen, the new Sony Handycam with autofocus and zoom gives you a measurably better picture, far superior sound, twice the recording time, and on Sony video cassettes, your memories are safe. While on VHS-C, they could be fleeting. I rest my case.
The Sony Video 8 system. Judge for yourself.
This is Bobby the Brain Heenan, and if you people out there have any brains, which I doubt you do, you'll watch All American Wrestling on the USA Network, the best in professional wrestling with the Brain.
America's secret weapon.
I want Airwolf. You can give it to me or I can take it.
But only one man commands Airwolf.
Sometimes hockey will amaze even me.
Jan Michael Vincent, Ernest Borgnine, Airwolf. Tomorrow at 6, 5 Central on USA.
63 yards and 8 plays. Tech had the ball for 3 minutes and 15 seconds, but a great goal line stand by the Rebels of Ole Miss.
Great is the way to describe it. They had him in close, and they stood up to it, led by Fitzsimmons and the defensive end, Wesley Walls.
Ambrose, watch out. Out to the 40-yard line, a 30-yard return on the kickoff by J.R. Ambrose. He is dangerous on kickoff returns. As Vanderbilt can attest, he ran one back 94 yards against them this season.
And for the season, number 6, J.R. Ambrose had 353 yards as we see him change direction and get up on the outside with a few fakes, keeps his balance, and brings that ball back to the 40-yard line. Great field position. Ole Miss has got to get something going. They did not have a good offensive third quarter.
They led 17-7 at the half. It is 17 all right now. Young getting pressure. Hits Mario Perry to the 48-yard line. An 8-yard pickup on the play. And let's get out of Steve Grad. A gain of 8 on the play. Young now 23 of 33 with 1 interception for 233 yards. Young now 2 of 3 in the second half after going 21 of 30 in the first half. Second down and about 1.5 yards. It's enough for a first down to the 45-yard line. Mario Perry dropped by Brad Hastings. Perry with 2 consecutive receptions. Moved from wide receiver. A lot of folks think, Bob, that this young man is NFL material. Good size.
He sure
6'5.5", 230.
And they're starting to use him now. They're starting to come to him because they're playing the wide receivers a lot tighter in the Tech secondary. They're looking to Perry because they can shake him loose on a linebacker. So they're looking for him coming out of the slot. They split him a little bit or right on the line of scrimmage.
First down for Ole Miss. The offense stalled in the third quarter. It's picked up here in the fourth, early stages. Young buying some time with a rollout. Ball through the hands of Ricky Myers. Myers, the ball was well thrown by Mark Young. Leonard Jones and Eric Everett combining on the coverage, but the ball well thrown. It's not a good reception by Ricky Myers.
Young came out and sprinted to the sideline to get a little more time, get away from the rush, and he let Myers come all the way across the field from the far side, and he was open. Just threw it a little bit too low for him. Again, Ole Miss, depending on the pass in the crucial situations, they bring Mario Perry, the tight end, back into the lineup, replacing the wide receiver, Willie Green. 2nd and 10.
Ole Miss at the 46-yard line of Texas Tech with Perry in motion. They set up the screen. Joe Mickles chased out of bounds the 41-yard line by Boyd Cowan.
Got to be impressed with Joe Mickles. He's done a lot for him today. He can run the ball, and he can come out of the backfield and catch the ball, and also he can do the job on the screens. As we look here on the pass protection up front, it's the center here, Rob Goff, trying to hold up, but he was trying really to make a block quick and get out into the flat and get in front of the screen. He didn't quite do it.
Mark Young has broken an Ole Miss record, which I'll share with you in a moment. 3rd and 5 coming up for the Rebels at the 41-yard line. Up Texas Tech, deep drop by Young. Got Perry inside the 30-yard line, or did he hold on to it? I believe he did. Yes, he did. He just pounded the ground because he thought he could have gotten more. Brad Hastings was there in coverage. Young now, Mark Young, is 26 of 37.
What a move by Perry. He comes across the middle, hits into Hastings, and then pushes off and works his way away from him. He had come inside, pushed off away from him, and went back to catch the football, and at 6'5 and a half, he's quite a target.
Mark Young has broken Archie Manning's record. Archie was 21 of 35 against Arkansas in the 1970 Sugar Bowl. Young is now 26 of 37 for 257 yards, and he wants to air it out again. The connection to Willie Goodlow, but it is incomplete. After the hit, and a solid hit by number 40, James Johnson, the strong side linebacker.
James Johnson from Lubbock, Texas, came over there, the senior, and made the play on Goodlow. He didn't quite hold on to the ball, but Johnson had him in his tracks. Again, they're trying to pit the back against the linebacker.
At the conclusion of this game, we'll be picking our Budweiser most valuable player. And right now, there are a couple of candidates. Certainly, number 14, Mark Young, is in that category. Irvin Ferris has got 95 yards for Texas Tech on 14 carries. 2nd and 10, Ole Miss at the 29. Ball was, I believe, partially deflected by James Johnson.
They're starting to put pressure now up front. They're coming after him with 4. That time they brought the linebackers, and James Harris was up in his face and got his hand on it to make the play. And you see number 40 coming from the left side. He spins off and just elevates himself to get a piece of that.
Young has now tied an Independence Bowl record with 39 pass attempts. Well, Young is just going through records like Lionel Richie, isn't he? 3rd down and 10. Ole Miss at the Red Raider 29-yard line. They set up the screen to the far side, and Dr. Sean Sykes gets rocked by Leonard Jones, the roverback.
Now, we called his name a few times tonight, and every time it's with a devastating tackle. He saw it right from the beginning. This little flip screen out here. He's trying to swing this back out, rather, on the sideline to Goodlow. Sykes, excuse me, as he comes out, and in his face is Leonard Johnson, number 28, to make a big play.
So Brian Owen is going to come out of the field now as you look at Leonard Jones, and he's going to attempt a 49-yard field goal out of the hold of David McKinney. Owen has kicked a 48-yarder this year. This one on the way, and it is good. Kicks a 49-yard field goal to give Ole Miss the lead once again. This time they lead it by 3.
Dreyfus meets with his accountant.
Your sources of income? Dreyfus Tax-Exempt Bond Fund. Dreyfus Intermediate Tax-Exempt Bond Fund. Dreyfus Money Market Tax-Exempt Fund. Again, no federal tax. Right. In effect, your income is doubled in the top tax bracket. No wonder you're king of tax-exempt bond funds. Shall we have lunch?
Dreyfus brings to millions tax-exempt opportunities once reserved for the moneyed few. What's that? You think tax-exempts aren't for you? Listen, if your joint taxable income is just $30,000, there's a Dreyfus tax-exempt fund that can leave you more bottom line than most alternative taxable investments. That's real money. Call 1-800-USA-1000. We'll send you illuminating charts on tax-free funds that may change your life. 1-800-USA-1000. Call now.
Brian Owen came within 1 yard of tying an Independence Bowl record. Watch his reaction. And And the record he came within 1 yard of tying, David Hardy of Texas A&M, a barefoot kicker, holds the Independence Bowl record. He's happy. He just put his team back out on top.
Important drive there for Ole Miss. They came away with some points. Texas Tech has got to get back upfield and keep close. Here we go.
Henderson on the return. Across the 25-yard line to about the 27-yard line. And it'll be a Red Raider ball with 12:10 remaining in the fourth quarter. So the Ole Miss Rebels have led most of the way. Texas Tech came back and tied it at 17, and so now Ole Miss back out in front 20-17. Eddie Anderson goes out wide to the right. There you see the scoring drive. And they have officially given him a 48-yard field goal, so he's 2 yards off the Independence Bowl record. Tolliver makes the connection, not for very much, maybe 2 yards. Jeff Noblin making the hit on Travis Price.
Again, they go to Travis Price out of the slot back. That time, Noblin coming up from the free safety position where he was second in tackles this year with 92. Noblin comes up, makes the hit for a short gain.
All right, let's go to Steve Grad.
Well, Brian Owen just kicked a 49-yard field goal to give Ole Miss the lead. You know, all eyes are on you. The game could be on the line. Tell me about the 49-yard.
I just hit it best I could. It barely made it, but it made it.
How come you split the kicking duties on Ole Miss?
Bill, if he gets a hold of the ball, he'll kick it about 20 yards farther than I can. He can kill the ball.
But you got the accuracy.
I hope.
What did you think as the ball was traveling 49 yards?
I was hoping it was going to go.
And it did. Nice job. Howard?
J.R. Ambrose for Ole Miss has not caught a pass in this half after catching 8 balls in the first half. Wide to the left side, Eddie Anderson. 3rd down and 2 play coming up for Texas Tech. The ball at the 35-yard line. Tolliver on the drop. Pass highly thrown, intended for Wayne Walker. But it is incomplete. Don Price over there on the coverage, and it'll bring up 4th down.
But the man who made the play was Bubba Dickey, the linebacker who got a good drop, got in front of Price, and forced the quarterback Tolliver to elevate the ball out of bounds. Bubba Dickey, number 52, made the play.
Goodlaw, number 24, number 25, Ricky Myers to await the punt. Chris Burns. He split the duties this year with Jamie Simmons. Burns with a high kick. Good hang time. Goodlaw at the 19-yard line. Has some room down the sidelines. Big return by Willie Goodlaw to the 46-yard line. A 46-yard punt, a 27-yard return. Ole Miss leading by a field goal.
On my next show, 5 dentists fill a cavity in the music world. Truly a crowning achievement on Robert Klein time.
Monday at 10, 9 Central on USA.
Even after sweating it out all day at the office, some people feel a need to sweat it out some more. Well, the Wall Street Journal would like to suggest that you supplement your physical fitness program with a mental fitness program. You see, what a workout does for your body, the Journal does for your brain. Besides news and information, the Journal also brings you ideas. It raises questions. It challenges your mind, leaving it a little stronger, a little nimbler. So, no matter what shape your body's in, reading the Journal makes sense. Because after all, even if you can't pick up one of these, you can always pick up one of these.
Call 800-527-9800 for this special introductory offer. 13 weeks for just $29.50 with a money-back guarantee. 13 weeks, $29.50. Phone 800-527-9800 now for the Wall Street Journal.
Ole Miss led at one point 14-0. They led 17-7 at the half. Texas Tech came back to tie it at 17-all, and then a 48-yard field goal by Brian Owen is putting Ole Miss out in front 20-17. They have the ball at their own 46. Excellent field position. From the backside and being sacked for the 4th time tonight, That one recorded by 82 James Mosley.
We call his name a lot. 82 Mosley gets around the block of the left tackle, Todd Irvine, and when he gets in there, he makes the play just before the quarterback Young can deliver the football.
5th sack of the game for the Red Raiders. They had 41 takeaways this year in Southwest Conference football. Before I forget, and I cannot forget, my thanks to Joe Hornaday, the Sports Information Director at Texas Tech, and Langston Rogers at Ole Miss, the SID, for helping us out tonight. Langston's missing a big night back home, and I'll tell you about that. 2nd and 19, Young on the roll. Throws it on the run and makes the connection with Bobby Martin at a 40-yard line in front of Eric Everett, and that is enough for a first down.
Bobby Martin came from the far left side of the field as the quarterback Young again takes this deliberate drop-back action, and now he dashes to the sideline, gives him extra time, gets away from the rush. Meanwhile, Martin has come all the way across the field. It's a beautiful pass on the run, wide open, big play, and they've got the ball in Tech territory.
23 yards on the completion and a first down for the Rebels of Ole Miss at the 41 of Texas Tech. Goodlow, maybe a yard.
Guess who on the defense?
Yeah, number 44, Brad Hastings. Hastings is probably could be considered the 12th man in the Ole Miss offense right now. 276 yards passing for Mark Young tonight. So now he has broken Archie Manning's record in bowl play for Ole Miss in passes attempted, passes completed, and most yards set by Archie Manning in the 70 Sugar Bowl against Arkansas. Archie Manning spoke yesterday and did an excellent job speaking at the luncheon in front of 2,500. 2nd down and 9. Young again, wants it all. Overthrows the intended receiver, Willie Green.
Willie Green, number 1, gets deep on the corner. He just takes off and runs up the sideline. And this time, Mark Young just didn't put enough on the football. He threw it a little bit too flat. He didn't elevate it up and let him run under it. He put it over the wrong shoulder. He looked inside. He threw it over the outside shoulder. He doesn't get around to it. He needed a little bit more air under that ball so he could have run under it.
There's a lady that's in Oxford, Mississippi tonight by the name of Paula Rogers, who's Langston Rogers' wife. It's their wedding anniversary tonight, their 17th anniversary. They have never had dinner on their wedding anniversary. This guy's in trouble. 3rd down and 9. Young back to throw. Goes to the other sideline and wide open for the completion, but out of bounds was J.R. Ambrose. It is ruled an incompletion. He was out of bounds. Leonard Jones was defending on the play. Ambrose had him beat, and the ball was just overthrown, and he stepped out of bounds.
Here he throws back to the left side, to the wide side of the field, as Ambrose beats the cornerback, Mitchell, on the sideline, but that left foot came down right on the white marker.
Jones defending on the play, and it's going to bring up 4th down. And don't you know that Mark Young is really upset with himself because Ambrose had his man beaten. Leonard Jones was beaten cleanly. So Bill Smith to punt it away. Sails this one into the end zone. A 40-yard punt, obviously no return, and Bill Smith not happy with that effort at all. He was trying to hang that one up. And so with 8:54 remaining in the 4th quarter, Ole Miss leading it by the score of 20-17.
Texas Tech has got to get back into their offense. Ole Miss has been playing them real tight in the secondary, coming after him up front, doing a good job of containing the running game. But really, Texas Tech has come here throwing the football. They've got to get that in action now. With 8:54, they've got to get upfield, and they've got to get themselves in a position to get some points.
They started at the 20-yard line with 8:54 to play in the ball game. Connection to James Gray out of the backfield for about 6 or 7 yards in front of Arthur Scott.
They worked him out of the backfield. Nice drop by Billy Joe Tolliver, the quarterback, and waited for him to come open underneath. He got him the football, picked up 8 yards, 2nd down and short yardage.
Line of scrimmage to the 28-yard line. Thurman out wide to the right side. Walker to the left side. Tolliver the quick look. Pass is incomplete. Intended for Tyrone Thurman.
That time they were looking just to get the first down. He took a 3-step drop and put the ball on the corner to Thurman, but a little bit too low into the outside, made it very difficult to handle. And now they've got to get that first down, 3rd and 2.
So Billy Brewer, whose team leads 20-17, Tolliver now 13 of 29 for 147 yards. About half of what Mark Young has accomplished here tonight for Ole Miss. Tolliver with the game on his shoulders right now. Throws that one sidearm. Anderson with the reception. Jeff Herod makes the stop.
That's the quick screen. They tried it earlier in the game. He threw the ball behind him or over his head. That time he threw it beautifully. He threw it sidearm to avoid the rush. Got the ball to Anderson, who got upfield and got the first down.
Billy Brewer told us yesterday that Texas Tech has the quickest defense he's seen all year. Right now, their offense on the field. 1st and 10 play coming up. Tolliver with time. Overthrows Tyrone Thurman. Thurman had the room. He got a cushion from Don Price, the left cornerback.
He did have a cushion. He broke it to the sideline. The ball was just a little bit too far out of bounds there for him to catch that. But they're looking on first down to try and get those intermediate passes. Just get themselves first downs as they move upfield.
There has not been a touchdown produced by either offense in the second half. There have been 2 field goals and a 32-yard pass interception return by Texas Tech's Merv Skurlock. 2nd down and 10. Red Raiders their own 36-yard line. Tolliver chased and dropped and a fumble. Or have they ruled it dead at the 27-yard line in the grass, perhaps?
In the grasp again, the pressure from the outside by Wesley Walls, number 80.
And Rodney Lowe.
And Rodney Lowe, the defensive tackle, put pressure that time as he tried to come open with his receiver. He wasn't there as he looked deep upfield, particularly for Eddie Anderson. Good pressure by Lowe. Lowe, a sophomore at 6'4½", 244 from Pompano Beach, Florida.
First sack of the game for the Ole Miss defense. Texas Tech has recorded 5. But Ole Miss leads on the scoreboard 20-17 with 7:07 remaining in the 4th quarter. Big play here, 3rd and 18, and Billy Joe Tolliver calls for timeout. So with 7:03 to go in the 4th, Ole Miss on top of a score of 20-17.
He's not a national hero, but every year, thousands of people turn to him for protection. He's an independent insurance agent who rides with the Kemper Cavalry. He knows insurance. His job is to scout out the best values for your auto, home, life, health, or business. And when the chips are down, he's a good man to have on your side. Once you compare Kemper, you'll ride with us.
There's no place like USA for the holidays. Get into the spirit of things with the original Scrooge. The Marx Brothers shoot for some holiday humor in Animal Crackers.
Well, somebody's got to do it.
Then it's the Pied Piper of Herald Square in Miracle on 34th Street.
I'm Santa Claus.
James Stewart and Donna Reed star in the timeless It's a Wonderful Life.
To my big brother George, the richest man in town.
USA's Christmas Classics. December 24th and 25th.
Third down and 18 for the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. Wayne Walker goes wide to the right side. Tyrone Thurman having problems getting open wide to the left side. Tolliver with time, airs it out, hangs it up for Walker, and caught by Walker as he steps out of bounds at the 21-yard line. He beats Don Price. Tremendous concentration by Wayne Walker. The pass reception covering 51 yards, but wait a minute. Wait a minute, we may get a penalty back upfield. As you see the reception by Walker, and it was terrific, but they're going to bring this one 51 yards back, Bob.
Yeah, it's a tough break against Tech, but what happened there where they brought, Mississippi brought both linebackers, Ole Miss brought both linebackers, forced man-for-man coverage, and Price, the cornerback, was beaten deep by Walker. And the pass was thrown a little bit short, and Walker came back to make the play, but it's gone for naught.
So Larry Rice will step it off. They bring this one back to the 18-yard line. Let's hear the call.
Holding on the offense. 3rd down.
You know, that's the first holding call of the game against either offensive line.
They've had very few penalties in this ball game overall, but that was a costly one. That was the big play they've been looking for to try and get one of these receivers deep.
Mike Fitzsimmons, the left tackle of Ole Miss, is asking the fans right in front of us, the Ole Miss fans, to start cheering. It's 3rd and 28. And here come the Rebels. Tolliver hit as he throws, and it falls harmlessly at the 45-yard line. But the rush was on, the pressure was on Billy Joe Tolliver.
He was looking to go deep to Lemuel Stimson, one of his wide receivers, a junior, but he ran the wrong pattern. He broke it back inside. Tolliver threw it deep. A tough exchange right here for Texas Tech. They had an opportunity to get the ball upfield. They didn't capitalize on it, and they're going to be forced to punt.
So Goodlow and Myers to await Chris Burns' 7th punt of the ball game. And it gets away a dandy. Myers at the 32-yard line. To about the 42-yard line, a 10-yard return of an excellent punt by Chris Burns at 50 yards. 6:40 remaining, 4th quarter. A tough exchange, Bob, and you're right, 100% correct. They had a 51-yard completion. Texas Tech goes for naught on a holding penalty, the game's only holding penalty up to this point.
It'll be very interesting to see what Ole Miss does here. They've been running out of the wishbone, the veer offense. They've been throwing the ball a lot. With 6:40 on the clock, will they try and eat up some of that time?
Well, you'd have to believe. Sean Sykes, the lone setback, but Young's going to go upstairs. Downfield, great catch by Ricky Myers at the 30-yard line. What a grab by Ricky Myers in front of Leonard Jones. Tremendous concentration.
But what permits him to do it is the quarterback off a drop back start. You see him drop back, get the rush inside. Now he sprints to the side to get away from it, give himself time, and also gives Ricky Myers a chance to come into your picture. And what a catch. You can't do it any better than that.
26 yards on the completion. Said Mark Young was going to keep it on the ground. Ricky Myers said, no, you're not. Makes a great reception. All fingertips. 1st and 10, Ole Miss at the 31 of Texas Tech with Perry in motion. Inside handoff to Joe Mickles. And gang tackling by the Red Raiders at the 31-yard line. Texas Tech has 2 timeouts remaining. Of course, that is not a factor yet with 6 minutes to play in the game.
They got to get the ball back here. They've got to try and keep it, keep themselves close as they've been doing. The defense has played well this second half. They've got to try and get the ball back with enough time on the clock to give their offense a chance to get back and win this football game. But Ole Miss has really done a great job of changing up. They've come into this football game. Billy Brewer said they were going to put the ball in the air, and they've done it, and they've created problems all night for Texas Tech.
Mark Young has rewritten the Independence Bowl record book tonight. We'll share with the stats with you in a moment. Ricky Myers was open at the 15-yard line, and the ball was overthrown. James Johnson, the strong side linebacker, was 15 yards off the line of scrimmage defending.
They had to get him underneath James Johnson. Outstanding player, just hard to cover.
There are the numbers. Mark Young has shattered every Independence Bowl record for attempts, for completions, and for yardage. 302 yards. He has been intercepted once, and he has not thrown a touchdown pass.
And he's only a sophomore. And at 6'3", 170, he's got a lot of future ahead of him, and I'm sure that Billy Brewer is excited about the fact that he's got such a young ball club, and especially a quarterback with that talent.
3rd and 10 play coming up. Young the dump off to Mickles. 25, inside the 20, and a 1st down for Ole Miss. That will stop the clock as they move the chains. Michael Johnson, the weak side linebacker, on the defense.
Here it is. This is a quick screen out to the outside here. He gets a good block from his guard, Danny Hoskins, number 61. There he is downfield. Makes the play possible, a block on Roland Mitchell, the cornerback, but the quickness of Michaels tonight really is impressive. This junior from Birmingham, Alabama, has done a lot for this offense.
13 yards of the pickup. 1st and 10, Ole Miss at the 18-yard line. And we're going to get some flags flying on the right side of the Texas Tech defense, or the left side of the Ole Miss offensive line. Brad Hastings, the co-captain of Texas Tech. It's a procedure call against Ole Miss. We're seeing today the Old South against the Old West. Texas Tech and Ole Miss, and they have put on a dandy for the Independence Bowl crowd, and nobody's gone home.
Good ball. Ball straight on the offense.
Okay, it's 1st and 15. They push the ball back to the 23-yard line. They've got both Ambrose, the great wide receiver, to one side, along with Mario Perry, the tight end.
Intended for Mario Perry, and the ball was actually thrown a little bit behind him. Eric Everett, the halfback, one of 10 children defending on the play. Mario Perry, big size, has had an outstanding game, but nobody's had a better game than this man. Mark Young, who has broken every record for the Independence Bowl. He has broken all of Archie Manning's records for bowl games. And has to make Billy Brewer a very happy man. Of course, he's only ahead by 3, and there's still 4:42 to play. Second and 15. Looks out to Dentley, the big guy, and there's a marker on the play as he goes to about the 10-yard line, but there is a penalty marker on the play, and from the point it was thrown, I would imagine it's going to be a holding call.
And that's exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be a holding call. They brought Dentley into the ball game, and they decided to screen to him, which is a good move. You expect him to run the ball up inside. Billy Brewer doesn't want to come away with no points here. He knows that they've come too far. The clock is working to his benefit. And on the other side of the field, there's the defensive coordinator and now the head coach, Spike Dykes, giving the signals.
Billy Brewer, who's a great believer in football players on his team that have great inner strength. Let's listen to the call.
On the offense. Still second down.
They're pushing themselves back. They're putting pressure if even they want to go for 3 here. But the big thing is they're looking at a 2nd down and 25. The ball sitting on the 33-yard line of Texas Tech.
Ole Miss has called for a timeout. They still have 2 remaining. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. 4.5 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. And let's go to Steve Grad.
He is one of the smallest, if not the smallest man, but the biggest heart in big-time college football. Tyrone Thurman, 5', 330 pounds. What are they doing to prevent you from getting open as you've normally done all year?
Well, receiving-wise, we getting open. It's just we just not executing the way we should execute. Billy Joe is rushing his pass, and we just, they not playing no certain route coverage on us. So I don't know what the deal is. Just Billy Joe not getting us the ball.
All right, what about on your punt returns? They've kind of held you in check, too, with one of the great punters, Bill Smith.
Oh, yeah, Bill been doing a good job, and they've been coming down real hard. On one return, I went the wrong way and messed up the coverage. So we're going to give Bill a lot of credit for him kicking the ball real well. So we just got to go out there and just execute this 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game.
You're a real hero to a lot of youngsters who aren't built like the biggest guys in the neighborhood. Tell them what it's like to be one of the smaller men in stature, but still be a starter in a big-time college program.
Well, first thing you got to do is go out there and play. If you want to play football, go out there and put your heart into it and play the game and just give it 100%. And if you go out there and do that, you can succeed in anything.
Tyrone Thurman, thank you very much.
So here's the situation. 2nd and 25 for Ole Miss at the 33-yard line of Texas Tech. And Young, who's already thrown 47 balls, throws the 48th of the night, and it's caught by Ricky Myers inside the 5-yard line as he beats Leonard Jones. Ricky Myers is having a whale of a night.
And he got Leonard Jones turned back to the inside, and he lost where the football was. You got to know where it is. This is a beautifully executed play and a great pass by Young. He really throws this ball right where it has to be, and you'll see as we pick up, he's got the cornerback, the rover back here, Jones, turned the wrong way, came back to the ball. Great catch on the part of Ricky Myers.
Sets up 1st and goal for Ole Miss at the 4-yard line. Young now 31 of 48 for 344 yards. They go out of the power I set. It is Young on the keeper, looking for the end zone, but he's going to be short. Earlier this year in the NFL, you remember, Bernie Kosar threw for 400 yards and did not throw a touchdown pass. And tonight, Mark Young has thrown for 344 yards and has not thrown a touchdown pass.
They get in close, though, and they go away from throwing the ball, and they come with the option that time. And Mark Young elected to keep the ball, and Leonard Johnson, who just got beat on that pass, made a big play from his rover position to make the tackle and stop him short on the 2-yard line.
2nd down. at the 2. 2nd and goal. Goodlow stopped cold at the line of scrimmage. Maybe he lost a little bit. Tony Durden comes up with a big play.
Tony Durden, 6 foot, 230 pounds, sophomore linebacker, number 58, came in there with a big play as they tried to move right over their left guard, Derek King, for the score.
So now it'll set up a 3rd and goal for Ole Miss as we come down to the inside the 3-minute mark. For our USA Network viewers, stay tuned for Night Flight, which will be seen in its entirety following our coverage of the 11th Independence Bowl. Now you see the numbers of Willie Goodlow this year. Hasn't done a whole lot tonight, but his team's on top. Young on the rollout. Looking to throw. Does. Incomplete. Off the fingertips of J.R. Ambrose.
Came out in the wishbone and sprinted from the wishbone set on the corner. One-on-one coverage on J.R. Ambrose. And here you see it. The quarterback Young coming out, and there Ambrose turning to the sideline. The ball is right there. He just doesn't hold on to it.
Got to catch those balls.
Beautifully thrown.
So it brings up 4th and 3. And Ole Miss may be calling for a timeout. That will leave them with 1 timeout remaining. So 2:39 to play in the 4th quarter. Ole Miss leading it 20-17, and it's decision time.
For every man who wears Brute, there's a woman who loves what he smells like. There's something about Brute that's nice to be close to, and nobody knows that better than a woman.
Honey, I was just thinking about you.
Brute. It smells like a man. And now, Brute invites you to enter the over-the-top Brute sweepstakes. Win one of 10 Brute Dodge 4x4s. Entries where Brute gift sets are sold.
Mankind has always been pressed for time, but never more so than in American business in the 1980s. For instance, some people are so obsessed with saving time that they don't read the Wall Street Journal, which is rather odd, considering how little time it can take. In just a few minutes, the Journal's front page gives you summaries of the day's most important business developments. Of course, if you have a little more time, you can dig a little deeper and discover how efficiently organized the Journal really is. Now, granted, reading the Journal doesn't exactly save you time. It just helps you spend it more wisely.
Call 800-527-9800 for this special introductory offer. 13 weeks for just $29.50 with a money-back guarantee. 13 weeks, $29.50. Phone 800-527-9800 now for the Wall Street Journal.
Fourth and goal at the 3-yard line. For Ole Miss, they lead by 3. Young with backside pressure. It is incomplete. Eric Everett making the defensive play on J.R. Ambrose.
Wide slot formation, sprint by the quarterback, Mark Young, right on the corner, looking for 6 as he breaks it outside Ambrose, and watch from the inside out as Eric Everett, number 22, comes up and makes the play. Beautiful job by the junior, Eric Everett, number 22.
Great work by our camera people. Excellent job. 2:35 remaining in the 4th quarter. And now Texas Tech trailing by 3. The ball at their own 3-yard line. They go out of the power I to give them some room to run. I believe that was Isaac Garnett. It is Isaac Garnett who carries it out to about the 6-yard line, hit by Jeff Herod.
They just got to give Herod, the linebacker, on the tackle of Garnett, the fullback. They came in a power I set. They want to get a little bit more working room here for their quarterback, but they've got to put the ball up with 2:12 and the clock ticking down.
Texas Tech has 2 timeouts remaining. The ball sits at their own 7-yard line. It's 2nd and 6. Again out of the power I set. Urban Ferris to about the 10-yard line. It's going to be 3 yards shy of a first down. And the clock continues to move with 1:50 to play.
And they've got to get up and into that huddle real quick, and they've got to move faster.
So they send in the Smurfs, the wide receivers, Wayne Walker, Tyrone Thurman. Eddie Anderson now comes out wide to the left side. Wayne Walker goes out wide to the right side. It's a 3rd and 2 play, showing pass. Quick drop, Tolliver. Hits Walker for a first down, and he wisely steps out of bounds at the 19-yard line to stop the clock with 1 minute and 27 seconds to play.
Now they've got to almost go without a huddle. They've got to get a couple of plays called in the huddle, and they've got to get the ball moving.
They come without a huddle. Tolliver letting his receivers know what the play is. The sophomore from Boyd, Texas, trying to engineer a come-from-behind win. Throws, makes the connection to Travis Price. He steps out of bounds at the 26-yard line.
And that's what they're running. Their 2-minute offense right here. End the game. They're trying to get that ball upfield a little bit, stop the clock, get the first downs, and then look up top to try and get the deep score. For Ole Miss, they've got to keep the pressure on Tolliver with their front 5 people and play with a nickel back as they are in the defense, 5 defensive backs.
Texas Tech with an experienced offensive line. Line coach Clovis Hall calls it the most consistent offensive line he's ever been around. They started all 11 games. 2nd and 4, Texas Tech at their own 26-yard line. Tolliver almost picked off the tip by Howard Moss. Passing, it was actually Harrod that got the tip.
That's it was. Jeff Harrod, that linebacker at 6'1", 240, covering the slot back out of the slot. That was Price. A good job by Harrod. We've called his name a lot today.
Tolliver 15 of 34 for 162 yards. 1 minute and 17 to play now in the 4th quarter. Texas Tech faced with a 3rd and 4 at their own 25-yard line. Twin receivers to the right side. Tolliver with time. Delivers it on the money to the 35-yard line to Eddie Anderson. That'll stop the clock as they move the chains, but Tech will probably go without a huddle.
They're going with a huddle. He's calling the play right on the line of scrimmage, substituting from the sideline. Number 81 comes into the ball game. That's Tyrone Thurman as the extra substitute here. Now they've got 2 receivers each side.
Tyrone Thurman and Travis Price come to the near side. Walker to the right side. We're out of the pro set, and Tolliver with the drop on 1st and 10. He wants it all. He lays it out there looking for a Walker. There's going to be a pass interference call against which side, though? Price, the quarterback, or Walker, the receiver? Which way is the pass interference going to go? It may be offensive pass interference. I think it is.
We also...
It's offensive pass interference against Wayne Walker.
Okay, here we see it. Tolliver dropping back, waiting for Walker to come open. He's deep up the sideline, covered by number 45, Don Price.
Flag, the pass was ruled to be non-catchable.
Okay, there's your answer. It isn't interference on either side. The official decided the pass could not be caught. Good call. The pass was well out of bounds.
Good non-call.
Good non-call.
So it stops the clock with 54 seconds to play in the 4th quarter. 2nd and 10 play coming up.
Number 39, Joe Nathan Shelley is in the game. He is the nickelback for Ole Miss, and he's the extra defender for him.
Ball at the 36-yard line of Texas Tech. Travis Price comes in motion. Tolliver looking to go upstairs. Underthrows the intended receiver, Wayne Walker. Wesley Walls got right up in Tolliver's face.
He sure did. He got his hands up, and at 6'5", when he puts his hands up, he's about 6'9", so he's quite an object to throw over.
Billy Joe Tolliver. People said, how'd you get your name Billy Joe Tolliver? Billy was named after his Aunt Billy from Dallas, and Joe out of his Uncle Joe, who's from Houston. It's not the most informative story you've ever heard, but it's true. 3rd and 10 play coming up for the Red Raiders at their own 36.
In the ball game is number 31, James Gray. Also, they've used him sparingly, but he can get deep. He's a receiver.
He has scored 1 touchdown tonight. 3rd and 10 play. With time, the dump off to Gray, who just came into the game, and he gets rocked at the 44-yard line by Robert Smith, the linebacker, shy of a first down, and Texas Tech is going to have to spend a timeout, I believe, here. They are shy of a first down.
And they do.
They have called the timeout. They still have 1 more to go, but now, Bob, it is 4th down and about a yard for a first down.
Well, that's what they call the timeout for, 1 to stop the clock, and also to have a chance to decide what play they want to call, the right play.
37 seconds remaining in the game. The 11th Independence Bowl has turned into a dandy. Our Budweiser most valuable player, by the way, without a question of a doubt, regardless of the outcome of the game, is Mark Young. Let's go to Steve Grant.
And to follow up on our MVP for Budweiser, we have Les Kruvant from Anheuser-Busch, and I know you want to make the official announcement.
Yes, I do. Mark, I also want to congratulate you on behalf of Budweiser and all the Anheuser-Busch wholesalers throughout the country for an outstanding in the MPV award in the Independence Bowl.
Thank you, Les.
Mark Young's statistics tonight, 31 of 50 for 344 yards, no touchdowns, and he has been intercepted one time. Billy Joe Tolliver is 16 of 38 for 181 yards. The two of them have thrown for 525 yards tonight.
Here we go.
4th down and a yard. Tech has one timeout remaining. The ball at their own 45-yard line. The toss to Gray. He's got a first down to the 48-yard line. That'll stop the clock as they move the chains, and Tech will have to go without a huddle.
And they've got a play call right now. They've already had a call. They just got to get the right receivers into the game, and they bring Tyrone Thurman back in and send Travis Price, number 10, out. In the ball game now is Thurman and Eddie Anderson to the same side.
Bruce Perkins also in the game, a wideout. 4 wide receivers in the game for Texas Tech. Tolliver flushed out of the pocket and almost picked off by 31 Rodney Lowe.
Great job by Rodney Lowe. He has been in the backfield tonight on a number of occasions. He stretches himself out at 6'4.5", and he puts, as Tolliver looks upfield, he's finally going to dump the ball off to number 31 coming out of the backfield, Gray, but there's Rodney Lowe to make a big play. 22 seconds on that clock.
Mike Fitzsimmons also helping out as he got right up into Billy Joe Tolliver's face. The Texas Tech defense watches the offense try to put the winning touchdown on the board. 2nd and 10. Red Raiders from their own 48, and Ole Miss briefly showing blitz, but they back off. Tolliver downfield, and the pass is intercepted at the 30-yard line. Coming up with the interception was Jeff Noblin, the free safety. Runs it all the way down to the 35-yard line of Texas Tech, and a penalty marker flies after the play. Might be an unsportsmanlike conduct or unnecessary roughness, something like that.
Tolliver was looking to go deep. Noblin playing a perfect safety in this situation, well back, given about 30 yards of the field, playing center field. He tried to get the ball upfield to his wide receiver from the left side, Travis Price. He wasn't there. Jeff Noblin was right in the middle of the field to pick it off and return it back 44 yards.
Tremendous play by Jeff Noblin, Football Foundation scholar athlete, the team captain of the Rebels of Ole Miss. Tremendous student, and the penalty will be tacked on after the return. There are some of the people that made tonight's game possible. Our thanks, by the way, to the Independence Bowl chairman, Jim Thompson, the president of the Louisiana Sports Foundation, Tracy Jackson. It's always good to see the folks that are down here, and of course, our thanks up here in the booth to Laurie Glassell and her husband Wesley for just being tremendous host and hostess to us, and the entire Independence Bowl committee all week. And that is going to do it. Close the door on the 11th Independence Bowl, and it has been a dandy. Spike Dykes loses his first game as a head coach, but he can hold his head up high. His ball club trailed most of the way. They fought back from a 17-7 halftime deficit to tie it up at 17-all, and Billy Brewer's club comes away with the win, 20-17. We'll come back to wrap it up.
Nothing. Hey guys, I gotta get out of here. I'll miss my plane. Hey, not so fast, Sergeant. We're going to miss you. Here, Thomas. Miss you guys too.
Saying goodbye is never easy, but saying hello is. With AT&T, 10 minutes to West Germany can average just 71 cents a minute. Only AT&T keeps you this close anywhere in the world.
The Sally and Janet and Dinah and Trisha, just wait till they see the gift they're getting from me. I'm gonna get you a Kodak disc, win your heart, get a kiss, catch the fun, just like this. Gonna get you a Kodak disc, easy to load and fun to use. One has a telephoto too. Well, how can you miss? Who can resist when you get him a Kodak disc?
Merry Christmas, Mom.
powerful new financial help is coming. The Rock, the Prudential, is now more than insurance. It's mutual funds, home mortgages, IRAs, stocks and bonds, new products and new ideas. It's rock-solid financial help for us all. The Rock, the Prudential. It's strong, it's on the move, it's bigger than life.
Our thanks to Sally Hornaday, our spotter, Bo Carter, our statistician. For Steve Grad and Bob Cassiola, I'm Howard David. Again, the final score, Ole Miss beats Texas Tech 20-17. We'll see you Tuesday night for the Hall of Fame Ball in Tampa, Florida, where Georgia meets Boston College. This has been a presentation of Mislu TV Sports.
The 11th Annual Independence Bowl on USA Sports was brought to you by The Prudential, offering a full range of insurance and other financial services. The executive producer for USA Sports is Jim Drake. Tonight's game was produced by Brad Fuss and directed by Roger Schwing. USA's coordinating producer was Kevin Landy. The 11th Annual Independence Bowl has been a presentation of USA Sports.
This award-winning daily newspaper, famous for its unbiased editorial policy, reports the news around the globe and around the corner. It's the Christian Science Monitor. Now you can subscribe to the Monitor at a very special price. Get 4 months of the Monitor delivered daily for only $19.95. Save almost 50% off the basic price. 4 months, only $19.95. And you may cancel at any time. The Monitor. Call 1-800-USA-1000.
This is USA, America's all-entertainment network.
Welcome to Night Flight and tonight's video profile, Falco, the Man and His Music. Night Flight's feature film, Scared to Death, stars the master of horror, Bela Lugosi. Tonight, listen to the sounds of Christmas with David Bowie and the Weather Girls, while later, Night Flight gives you surefire tips to help you mind your manners, 50s style. Night Flight is brought to you by the Coca-Cola Company and your local bottler of Coke and Coca-Cola Classic.